YouTube has to solve it cause the law is failing kids. I'm disgusted at the evil in the end, and if you connect the dots, you'll see the vision in your head. Why do people die as victim to the streets? They wonder why I'm up all night and can't sleep. I'll be the voice for everyone who can't speak. L.E. failed Kylie and now Sammy is free. AWP did a good deed, and y'all be talking all that shit while they just do it for free. 16 days for 35 minutes.
Yo, what's going on? We are live today, Sunday morning, 9:16 a.m. 6:26:23. What is going on? What is going on? Welcome, Rep Gang. Welcome, everybody that's in the building. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you. I see you, Maldy Mama. The other Aaron, Maldy Mama, Terry Pat, Angela Darkness. What's going on? Shout out to you. Happy birthday to Donna. I do want to say happy birthday to Donna. Today is Donna's birthday. I seen that in Discord. Happy birthday to Donna. Everybody put happy birthday to Donna. Hopefully, if she's in here right now, she heard that. Could have tried to frame other people, leave another glove with someone's DNA and to cause reasonable doubt. Well, today I want to hear from you guys on the phone. Today, T-REV is going to shut his mouth, and I want to listen to you guys. I want to listen to your thoughts, your opinions, because I know there's a lot out there. All right, there's no guest on today. Today's show, no guest. Straight phone calls. I want to hear from you. We are not pulling up no panelists, no guests, none of that. No drama about other channels. I don't want that on my... Respectfully, I will not have that from this day forward. I will not have that on my show. There will not be that on what we talk about here. Period. We are not covering that no more. We are not covering... I do not want to hear it. And that goes for... If I ever do have anybody on panel, there's no more creator bashing and all that. We have our own platform here. We are going to talk about the case here and whatever cases we cover here. I don't want to turn this into a bashing show. I've mentioned what I've mentioned. People have mentioned what they've mentioned. We leave it at that. We move forward because shit's starting to look like a circus, and I don't like it. Right? It's bothering me to the point where it's like a circus. There's a lot of hatred going on, a lot of field drama. And that's not what y'all are here for. Y'all aren't here for field drama between people and creators and channels and this, that, and the third. We have a platform right here to speak. We're not about to do that. And I'm going to stop that shit today. It starts right now. You know, it starts right now. I appreciate you. What's going on, Nick? I see you, brother. Shout out to Nick. I appreciate you coming by, man. Lisa B Makeup, shout out to you. Good morning, T-REV. Good morning to you. Hopefully you're waking up. Got some coffee coming because I need some. Hopefully you got some coffee because I need some. T-REV. Don Keller says T-REV, hello. I made a live. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. Were you live? It's Monday here. It's Monday here. Shit, everybody's at work around here. What's going on, though, Terry Pat? Good to see you, too. Dana, what's going on? Welcome. You're welcome, Donna. You're welcome. Sybil, what's going on? All right, so let me pull this up, right? I want to pull this up. Let's pull this up right here. We're going to pull this up because this is what's being sent and circled a lot and talked about a lot on all different platforms, of course, in the Facebook, Idaho groups, on Twitter, on Instagram, emails. People are sending circle statements. I want to hear from you all today, though. 219, the phone number is right here. We're going to start it straight off. Make sure you vote. I want to see what the consensus is at the end of this stream. Make sure you vote. Like I said, I put the vote up I put the question to you guys. Do you think the state's case is falling apart against Bryan Kohberger? Now, response one is yes, it is, and there's more to it. There's 30% of that right now. I see you. And then the second one is no, it's not. The defense is grasping at straws. Well, I meant to put grasping at straws, but it wouldn't let me, get that in there. But anyways, and the next one is 50-50, need more proof, straight up, 25%. So out of 109 votes right now, the most is leaning towards grasping by the defense. But I know that I'm going to hear from some people today. So let's hear from you. 219-885-9693. Make sure you call in. I want to hear from you. Make sure you call in. I want to hear from you. And it's open right now. It's off do not disturb, so you can pick up the phone and call right now. 6 minutes for everybody who calls through, and we're going to keep it rolling. I respect that, T-Rev. Thank you. I appreciate that, Puff Puff. I appreciate that. Good morning to you, Sherry. Good morning, T-Rev from Beverly Hills. I prefer the call-in versus the panel. Thank you. I appreciate you, putting in your opinion on that. I appreciate that. I see the consensus. The consensus is mad. The general consensus, and I'm not talking trolls where I click on your page and it's like a 1 month created account. I'm talking about people who are genuinely here a lot. The general consensus says put a stop to it. And I feel the same way. West End, what's going on? Great. Good idea. It's ugly otherwise. Exactly. And we're done with that. Good for you, Gen 6 says. Valdis says, happy birthday, Donna. MF, thank God. Love you, T-Rev. I find it hard to watch when Detective John's on. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. Laura Axon says, you're very respectful, T-Rev, and that's why everyone here loves you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Christina says, watching in bed, just woke up. D Smalls, thank you, T. Well, phone lines are open. People want to speak. They've been asking for a phone call live. So let's hear from you. 6 minutes. Like I said, 219-885-9693. The phone number's on your screen right now. And I'm just getting woke up. That's right, T. This is about finding the truth. Absolutely. It's definitely about finding the truth. I missed it, and I couldn't click the right selection about the case. I meant to select no. The defense is grasping, Rhonda says. It's all right. I truly love that new rule. No need. We are here, and they are there. Exactly. Putting a stop to it. Because you got to. Hold up. I'm about to pull something else up, too, while we're waiting. And if somebody wants to interrupt it, you can. Let me look for what I was just looking at. There was this one thing that I was trying to pull up that I seen this morning. I'll play it at some point. 757 sent from heaven. What's going on? You live.
Hey, Trev. How you doing?
Happy birthday, Nana. What's going on?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just like in a state of confusion here.
Mm-hmm.
This DNA stuff is like, I don't know how to feel about all this, honestly.
Right.
I mean, it just, it kind of freaks me out a little bit, to be honest with you, because I'm like, they're talking about another male DNA, and to me, it's like, why are they saying that? Why they had a specific. The thing that got me is supposedly they got DNA off a cigarette, which means they were casing somebody.
Yeah, for sure. Who was it?
That's the thing. I'm like, okay, that's kind of strange, and usually they don't do that unless they really have a suspicion, and because most people, they can approach, like, the students and stuff that they collected DNA from. They approached them and said, we want you to give everybody to give DNA to rule yourself out. But this is someone that they were watching for the moment. I mean, we've all seen that on every show that we've probably ever watched. Either it's a soda can, a coffee cup, whatever. They picked up a cigarette. Who is this person? And that's kind of got me kind of weirded out, because it just tells me that there's more to this than what we see. It's making me question, do they have the right guy? And that's crazy to me, because I've been thinking, damn, I can't believe they've caught this guy so quick. How wonderful that is. And then all of a sudden,
48 days, right? 47,
right.
48 days.
But now when they're talking about, watching this guy and getting a cigarette butt, and I'm thinking, who is this person? It has to be a local. It has to be somebody, whoever that person is, it's a local.
I think and whoever that person was may be one of the hot topics that we were speaking about, or maybe it's not. If I'm wrong, recall what I'm saying, but let me pause your time while I'm saying this. That what they said they checked for that person with the white truck that was seen in the camera.
Right.
Yeah, I seen that. Who was that? You know?
It's curious. I mean, I've been settled, you know. I mean, I've gone through my own, you know, oh, could have been this person, or, you know, speculating who could this be? Who could this be? You know, do they have the right guy? And then I finally gave into it and said, all right, you know, they've got him. Now let's follow the case. And I was good with that. But after this, I'm not good with it. I feel like there's something hiding in the bushes. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, what's happening? Mm-hmm. You know, is this really going to happen where he's going to be let off? And, you know, if they have someone in their sights, we might get a surprise, you know. But I can't see them keeping him in jail all this time for nothing, you know. Now they touch DNA, whatever. I don't care if their DNA wasn't in the car, wasn't in his apartment, wasn't in his office, you know, because we don't know what he did. We don't know how he protected himself from transfer DNA. You know, we don't know what he did to do that. Or then we go to, was there a second person? At the beginning, I always felt there was a second person because of the timeline. There's a lot to do for one person. And then I'm thinking, well, who could have that been? You know, could there be another person? Is that where the cigarette butt comes from? You know, they're looking into somebody. It's just crazy to me. I would think that if they had something, they would have busted somebody, like, now. You know, it would have already happened. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? What are you thinking about that?
I mean, honestly, it is alleged statement from the defense, and I want to hear what the prosecution has to say to this. Are they withholding different things? Are they withholding their case?
Yeah, it seems like they're awfully quiet. They're awfully quiet on their end. Defense is, you know, kicking and screaming, and it's like prosecution's not giving us anything. They've got to give us something. They don't have to give us anything, but we want something. We need a little something to send us some breadcrumbs, just so that we know, you know, that there's something tangible that we can look to, because that would be just a travesty. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you how I'm looking at this right now.
That guy gets off, it would be just devastating.
I'll tell you how I'm looking at it since you asked. I'm looking at it like this right now. We got one of our guys allegedly. If anything, there's another person or someone else involved. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I think we got one of our people that was involved here allegedly. Now that's what's in my mind running, but I'm waiting to see what the prosecution says to really jump out the window.
Was there a hearing tomorrow? In the hearing tomorrow? I saw something that there's a hearing tomorrow on the 27th.
What was it about? Like, I forget exactly what it's about. I forget exactly what it was, but I think that's a nothing burger hearing.
I can't remember either, to be honest with you, but
they've done so much changing and jumping around that I don't know what's what right now.
Yeah, I think there is something tomorrow, but I can't remember exactly what it's for. If I'm not wrong. If anybody knows, please let us know, because I did see something. I saw the date. So anyway, I'll let you go.
Well, I appreciate you calling in with your thoughts, Donna. Happy birthday to you, and if anything else crosses your mind, call back in.
All righty.
God bless you, Donna. I hope you have a beautiful birthday.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Lock your doors too.
Bye.
Shout out to Donna. I appreciate her calling in. 1 second. Let me pull this up on screen. Where's it at? I got so many folders on my damn desktop. There we go. Haha. Keep it just like that. I mean, to be honest with you, my thoughts are, okay. If anything, we got one of the people involved. It makes me think when you say stuff like that, it's like, all right, is there allegedly another person involved? But I just can't see him sitting quiet. I don't know. Like my mind's a little, in circles about what's going on here. Is the defense just grabbing something and running with it? Welcome, Dana. I appreciate you joining also. Thank you. 219-885-9693. Phones are off. Do not disturb. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Everybody gets 6 minutes today. We got to stay flush on that time limit. So please don't try to just run over it. You hear that bell ring, pass it to the next, because a lot of people have a lot of opinions. 310, what's going on? You're live.
Good morning, T-REV. It's Sherry in Beverly Hills.
Sherry in Beverly Hills, you are live. The floor is yours for 6 minutes. What's your thoughts on all this? All these new documents.
Well, a couple things. I've been listening to your show, and I phoned in back in November, and two things bother me.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, when Brian was arrested, he asked if anybody else was arrested, and that has always stood with me.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, the 8 hours not calling 911. I believe, T-REV, there is far more to this story. I do believe Brian's involved, but he did not act alone. And he is not intentionally speaking in jail, because I believe there's more to this than we know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why Dylan didn't phone. At first, I thought it was fear and she was afraid. But as I go through and watch your show and listen to the other callers, there's a lot more than we really know that's going on here. And I think it's going to be a huge shocker to everybody when we go to court.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to reiterate, when he was arrested, he made the comment, was anybody else arrested? And that has always stood out.
So, so you do think there's one more, you think there is some people that acted with him, or some person maybe?
Oh, absolutely. Hands down. There is absolutely no way he could have done he's a little guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's thin. He's not muscular. There is no way he could take down 4 people on his own. I just don't believe that. I believe Kaylee and Madison, I believe if they were sleeping in the same bed and one's getting attacked, the other one's going to fight back. And possibly Xana and Ethan may have heard them downstairs, but I don't believe one person of his stature could have done that. I believe there was another person involved, and I believe that this possibly could be a something to do with the fraternity, or there was something more to this story, because Dylan did not phone for 8 hours, and that tells me a lot.
It's always
what do you think?
It's always that part that you're speaking on. It's always bothered me. I'm sorry, but I know there's people that say don't, she's getting dragged through the mud, and I'm not trying to drag her through the mud. I'm just questioning the obvious of an 8 hour gap.
Absolutely.
Especially when you allegedly came face to face with him. I just want to know that full story. I want to know what lies behind that.
And I believe, and I don't wish ill on anybody. I have been very upset about all these comments that have come out over several months, and I feel for the families, and I feel bad for Dylan, but she knows more than what she's revealing. Maybe she's terrified to reveal. I have no earthly idea. But when all the fraternity guys came over and the friends came over and people were running in and out of the house, there's something going on here. And Brian, he did not act alone. And somehow this is all intertwined. And I think we're going to be shocked when we go to court and it all comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I just wanted to let you know, I'm not going to take up any time. It's beautiful out here in California. I love your show. I love listening to the live callers because everybody has a different point of view. And we all have to remember nobody's correct. We just have to keep an open mind, but justice will be served.
Absolutely, and that's what we want. We don't just want some. If say there was the wrong person in jail, we don't want the wrong person in jail. We don't want the wrong
No,
person to get hammered, and then there be a killer out there on the prowl, and other people lose their life. I mean, that's not what we want.
you're absolutely correct.
We want justice,
Yes.
but we don't. We also got to think about it like this. I mean, from my standpoint, I don't also want to drag others to the mud when there's no receipts to back that. So it's like, but I have those questions about Dylan. I'd have those questions about Bethany. I have those questions with the 8 hours. I have the questions with the coming face to face with this, guy in a mask and the room is shut and you hide in. I mean, I know a lot of people have a different opinion on that, but I've always questioned that.
Yes, absolutely.
My stance
There
never
is
changed.
far more to this story. Yeah. Well, hopefully, God is watching, and the answers will be provided, and justice will be served. And if the right man's in jail, fantastic. If the wrong man is in jail, then we need to get him out and get the right person in there. But we have to keep an open mind, because there's a lot we're not being told.
Right.
On both sides.
There is a lot not being told. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people ask this question about Brent Kopeka, why is the case open? But when police use excessive force, especially in Washington, the case remains open.
Mm-hmm.
Those type of investigations stay open. I did just drop the copy and paste in chat, though. I shared it on my community post. A lot of people haven't seen it, but I wanted to put it out there. And then thank you for calling in and having a voice.
You're welcome. God bless you, sweetheart. And you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Lock your doors, stay safe, stay vigilant. There's a lot of weird shit going on out here.
I'm locking my doors. Okay, bye.
God bless you, man. Shout out to her. Beautiful phone call. Beautiful phone call. Thank you. Beautiful. 916, you're in the mix. What's going on?
Good morning, T-REV.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. It's 7:20, 7:30 a.m. here, so just woke up, have a cup of coffee. I just wanted to call in, number one, say thank you so much for your show. I enjoy it so very much. I want to say just a couple of things. Number one, if Detective John is listening, I did want to personally say something, and that is that as a woman listening to yesterday's show, I personally found it guttural. I was sick to my stomach and had to actually get off the show listening to him say the things such as she was jumping on his dick and she was splooging in her pants. These types of comments to me are just disgusting and should not be said. It's not a guy's locker room. There's a lot of women listening, and personally I found it extremely offensive. I think that he's got a lot to do.
And I want to apologize is for somebody. This is my platform. I do want to apologize to anyone and everyone who was offended about, things that were said. I've seen a lot of race talk and a bunch of different things. So I do want to apologize to anyone who was offended about anything that was said on that show. I apologize, and I take full ownership of anything that was said. Period.
Yeah, I mean that's so wonderful of you, and I know that the show can sometimes get out of, it goes so fast, so many people on the panel, so there's a lot of talking, and it can get out of your hands for a second there. So I don't blame you, and I know that it's later on, it was brought to your attention, and it maybe bothered you too a little bit, but I did want to say, I think that Detective John has a lot to offer when it comes to his knowledge, and I do appreciate that. So I don't hate the guy, but I just wish he'd clean up his mouth and the way that he talks sometimes, and try to show a little more respect just for women and for people in general. And just so the way he talks to you too, it's like, pull this up, do that, do this. So it's just a little bit hard. I just wish he could take it down a little bit. Now, that being said, I wanted to talk about the other YouTube creators. I think it's so wonderful what you said this morning. Somebody has to be strong enough to take it on the chin, these other channels talking about him, and just say, whatever, not responding, so that it stops. And I'm hoping that it stops by you being a leader, and it stops on your channel.
Yeah, I'm getting. I've noticed myself getting out of jumping into some old habits, and that comes to a stop today. That comes to a
Yes,
stop
sir.
today, and I put my foot down. I'm not about to jump into this negative drama pool where my channel is a station for people to come by and drop their thoughts on all these other creators, this, that, and the third. We are here. This is the platform I give to everybody who wants to have a voice, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I have to stop getting wrapped up in this, these little dramas that are going on to the left and right. This is my channel. I can do what I want on it, and I should preach what I started from the beginning, which is
And that's where
giving
your passion
people
is.
a voice. You know
That's right. And I'll tell you, yeah. And listen, if I were in your shoes, and this would just be me, number one, I would never be able to do what you do. I'm just too sensitive. But I will say that I would never even watch any of the other channels. The sooner that we stop responding to them talking about us, the sooner that they stop talking about us. They'll get bored. And the truth is that your passion was with the Kylie Rodney case, and it started there. And your passion is for people that are victims. And I don't think you're going to get drained if you're getting caught up and whatever that everybody's saying, because if you're going to have a long time in this, it's going to drain you. But that's what I think. And I wanted to respond to that lady really quick from Beverly Hills.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say hi to her. I think she was wonderful. I don't know. She could have maybe a point, because that DM thing does bother me. If there's anybody else involved, my gut would be that it might be something to do with the fraternity. I don't know, but that's the only thing that I could kind of even lean a little bit to, if I were to surmise that there was more than one person.
Yeah.
But I don't tend to do that. But,
I mean, I feel like with, I just feel like, okay, you got one of your, if anything, you got one of your guys. Where's the rest? That's how I'm thinking when I see this statement. So I mean, but it's also the defense putting something out, and they could be grasping. It's happened in other cases, and people pointed out some different things that happened in other cases that the person ended up being indicted, and there's a lot of similarities, actually, more than we thought. We think this case is rare, but there's also ones out there that are like this that just weren't as high profile.
Yeah, and let's not forget that he's a very smart man. He's not little, though, but FYI, he could have done this by himself with a K-bar knife, with him being in the sleeping prone position. This makes him very weak right off the bat. They got their covers on them. But number two, I want to say that he's very smart. He used what's probably called a red herring, and that is that you throw something out right away to get everybody off of the main subject, the main point. So it's a fallacy. They use that in argumentation and debate. They use it in law school. So he's a smart guy, and he would have just thrown something out quickly. I'm sure he had plenty of time to think about these things. So,
right.
But yeah, as far as the other creators go, man, I just think that is a great idea. I'm so happy you're going to do that.
Yeah, I'm back. I had to go back to that because it's just getting out of hand, and I don't want. You know what? It's just too much. It's too much. It's drama. It's energy draining. And I don't want to be involved in that energy drainage, because that it takes away from the love and light that I try to give to my platform. It takes away from that. It brings darkness to it, and that's not what
it's not who you are. You're better than that, man. And I just think you're amazing.
I've made mistakes
these last
couple weeks. I've made mistakes these last couple weeks that I regret, and I own up to what I did. I own up to what I said. I own up to what I've done. I've owned up, and I'm cool with accepting that and stepping forward and saying, I'm putting a stop to that right now today. I've noticed I fell out of line a little bit, and I need to step back in line and correct the way that
I've got chills right now.
And I'm cool with that. Yeah. I stand on it.
I love it. When it feels good, it's the right thing. When it feels good in your heart, and I think this is the right thing. Thank you so much for letting me have a voice.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. You already know you have a voice anytime you want to call up and you get through. You just call through. Thank you so much. Okay. Lock your doors. Stay safe, and thank you for voicing your opinion and being a voice in the community.
Will do.
God bless you. Shout out to her. I appreciate her. Shout out to her. 219-885-9693. I want to hear from you. Thank you, Regina. Love to my Reverend. It's the new drop. doctor's not a bombshell. 859, what's on your mind?
Cheese, Angelica.
What's going on, Angelica?
Not much. I still feel the same. I think he's good. I think he just about pulled off the perfect crime. He screwed up with one thing, the sheet. As a nurse, I know how that you can keep blood, anything off of you. You know, everybody has seen everyone dress out and go into rooms, and there's reasons for that, not to contaminate.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think he's good at it. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about was his dream team. What the hell? Have you looked at the team of attorneys and how much it's costing? And no one else gets that. Why is this?
Yeah.
I mean, why? From my understanding, cases in Moscow, they're getting a slap on the wrist because they don't have the money to prosecute. Well, and pull up the two guys. One is from Maryland, and he's the specialist. This is where all that come from in the paperwork we just seen.
Mm-hmm.
They just hired him. He's like a mercenary. And this is where this all came from. And I still believe in my heart that when all this comes out, we're going to see so much more. That's what they hired him for, to fight the pings, to fight the DNA. He is like top in his field. Mm-hmm. If as a regular person, me or you, could we hire that person? If this was us.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, I couldn't afford to. Do you think they would do that for me? I don't understand. I'm lost on that, on why. I understand he needs defended. I want the right person to be put in jail. If it's not him, okay. But we have seen other cases where people go to jail that are innocent and people are set free that we know are guilty. We all have seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe he's involved in this case. That's just my personal opinion. Now, the other profiles just make me think, was there really help? That's just that's all that maybe it made me think that, but then also I think in my mind this too, and I have to say this. I feel like also the defense is throwing the kitchen sink, just like the term they use. I feel like they're throwing. That's what I feel.
That's what I'm talking about. These are these new experts that they've hired. All of that paperwork, every bit of it. Pull up these two guys and you'll see. That's what they do. Everything in that paperwork, everything that's been questioned.
It's their job too, It's their job.
Hell yeah. They're number one in the country. And it makes me think, okay, Kohlberg is from Pennsylvania. Do you not think that he knew about this guy in Maryland? Right over that way?
Yeah.
Come on. That he was number one? He knows all this. You think he didn't say, hey, Ann, I want him.
Yeah, that's...
And the thing about it is, he can't rat somebody else out or, roll over on somebody because you know what? If he does, he's rolling on himself too. So... But I still think it was just him. I really do. As a nurse, I believe it was. He done a damn good job. I've always thought he used plastic, and I always thought that he was ready. I did. I always thought that. But, I could be wrong. And I am one to say, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But show me I'm wrong because that paperwork does not.
Right.
that, show me I'm wrong, because it just does not.
The paperwork is definitely. I mean, they mentioned these unknown DNA profiles, which it's interesting, but I definitely want to see what the prosecution has to say about that.
Do you know how many they could have gotten out of that house?
Mm-hmm.
There was a party, they said, with maybe 100, 150 the night before. There are so many profiles in the house.
Right. There's definitely so many profiles in there. I mean, we could see damn handprints on the windows from the outside on the 20th.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many. I bet there was, can you imagine how many's on that glass door? You've seen those boys come in the front door, the glass door, all of them. There was always young boys there. I mean, and I'm happy. Myself, I'm happy that they, the cigarette butt and the other person, my time's up, I know. But I'm happy about that because that shows they did follow other leads and it did bring them to him.
You got 30 seconds, you're good. Yeah, no doubt. They got brought to other people for sure. We don't know about it. And we're just figured that out through this defensive statement.
And that's awesome that they done that. That means, their leads followed them to him.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else continued to follow. The phone, the DNA, just the car, everything. The phone off, the phone on. I mean, there's just too much. We've not seen it all. We've not.
Yeah, that's a lot of shit going on right now. I wonder. I wouldn't be surprised if documents came out by the end of today.
I wonder, did they not? I know my time's up, but do they not get a chance to put documents out or to rebuke what was put out?
We'll definitely find out. All right, so from a source that I know, somebody hit me up and was just saying, they said says please be advised that tomorrow is a big day in the Idaho 4 case. The items attached will be addressed by Judge, addressing each one in a separate tweet. Motion to compel, big item. The defense wants the prosecution to provide discovery pertaining to DNA tests concerning the genetic genealogy that was performed, as well as information related to scientists that performed them. Excuse me. There are arguments on both sides. Judge will have to sort through the law and precedent regarding what the pros must provide. It says there are other items requested as well. Timelines could be set if the judge agrees to compel the pros. They may not. Judge could agree with the pros that under the law, this information as well as other information sought has either been provided or is not discoverable. We shall see. Now, this is for tomorrow. It says, remember, it is mathematically impossible that the DNA on the sheet found under Maddie's body is not Brian Koberger's.
Exactly.
It says this puts the defense in a spin. They acquired BK's DNA legally and the sheets legally, and there were multiple roads that led to BK being a suspect. Most noted, his launcher caught on camera speeding away from the murder scene. On the facts. Now that's a source that put that out. Now tomorrow is supposed to be a big day for this case, so we'll be on.
Awesome.
I appreciate you, Angelica, for calling.
I will talk to you later. Keep doing what you're doing. You're awesome.
Thank you, Angelica.
Talk to you later.
Love you. God bless you. Lock your doors.
No doubt. Bye.
Bye-bye. Shout out to Angelica for calling. I appreciate it. Everybody give her a round of applause. 219-885-9693. Let's hear from you. 951, what's going on? You're live.
Hey, brother, how you doing? Hold on, let me load this shit.
The phones are going off the hook this morning.
I'm surprised they got on.
Bro, the phones are going off the hook this morning. There's more people calling than I thought.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Y'all are fighting to get through. So what's going on? Let me put the timer on. 6 minutes. The floor is yours. What's up, man? What's your thoughts? Pop us out.
7 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever it was, I was dead set on this guy being guilty. Dead set. After all the documents that have been coming out and shit, I got my fucking question. I question if this prick did it or not. You know? I can't help it. That's just me. I'm very open-minded. But as for him being alone, absolutely. I still stick to my story. You know, 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock. You know, you got to put yourself in the mind of somebody that would do something like that. 4 o'clock in the morning. He comes in with a 9-inch K-bar knife. Probably sees Ethan in the kitchen grabbing some of that food, because that's why the blood is in the hallway on the cabinet. So I think he started stabbing Ethan when in the kitchen, and Ethan worked his way into the room. Okay, I'm sticking to that. I really, truly believe that. Of course, Xana had to come scream or, you know, try and fight him off. You know, that's another thing. The noise in that house had to be really fucking loud. I'm sorry. You know, which makes me think that's why someone upstairs, being Kaylee, said, I think there's somebody here. You know? Then he goes upstairs, does that, comes downstairs, and he hears moaning and crying. Still in Xana's room. He goes in to say, don't worry, I'm here to help you, and finishes her off. That's when he comes back out, and that good vibe sign lights up his silhouette, where Dylan got to see the silhouette and described him as 5'10", slightly athletically built, and bushy eyebrows. And he left. My thing is whoever did it, how do you not see fucking blood in that house? How?
Right.
How do you not? Come on. Kidding me? How do you not leave blood outside the fucking house? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But there is somebody that did this. And you kind of hope that they got the right guy. Now, I'm hoping they have the right guy, because I don't want to think that there's some other fuck out there that could do this again.
Well, Papa Sal, if they have the wrong guy, then that would mean a sheet is planted at the scene, and what, you know, if the state.
I don't agree with the sheet being planted. I'm
saying if what they're saying is true, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So who would do that? Who would do that? Who had access to whatever? I mean, who's to say he owned it? But in general, those are my questions.
Oh, well, you're saying who would have planted the sheep?
Yeah.
Nah, nobody planted the sheep.
Exactly. That's what I'm asking. Who? The question would be though, who would have did that?
Yeah, I believe there was a struggle. Look, there's two people in a room.
Because that's what they're insinuating. They're saying they're using verbiage like placed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. You got to go by what the PCA says. You can't come up with scenarios of your own, because the PCA is, you know, they're telling the truth. And like I heard, that if they're not telling the truth and they're lying, that's against the law. You cannot do that. And I'm sure Ann knows that she can't do that.
Angelic Darkness has got a very good point. Said, I cannot wait for the prosecution response. Some alarmed. Other DNA found. That is investigation process. Show they are doing their job, and that's another thought that I think of when but like I said, I feel like the defense is throwing the kitchen sink. Like they're throwing everything they have in at this point. So I think they want to get what the prosecution has. I mean, they're alleging that the prosecution hasn't handed over their case, and they're hiding it.
I believe that too. They're throwing in everything but the kitchen sink. I believe that, and they have a right to. That's her job. She's got to do something like that. But shit, that's not what I was going to fucking say. All right, well, my time is up.
You guys can always call back, man. You know. I'm gonna stay. We're staying strict. We're staying strict to these times, man. We're staying strict to the time today. I want to get as many people as I can to call up, and I want to hear their thoughts because I know there's a lot of thoughts brewing. We got to stick to the time limits. If I'm going over the time limits, chat, grind me up. Make sure you grind me up because I need to get everybody through today. And Papa Sal and anybody else that wants to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. If time limits on everybody today.
I just want to say that Detective John really should, calm down. He's really not well 1,000%. So he really should calm himself down. And don't let these assholes get to you, Johnny. Don't let them get to you. All right, T. I love you.
I love you too, pal. Papa Sal, I love you. I have to talk to you a little later about something else. I'll call you. I'll give you a phone call.
I love you.
I appreciate you, Papa Sal. I love you, bud.
All right. Bye-bye.
Shout out to Papa Sal. Appreciate you, Papa Sal. Phone lines are open. 219-885-9693. Make sure you get through. What up, DK? So, left. They haven't proven. You said it's just left. They haven't proven his DNA 100%. 870. You're on the show. What's going on? You're live.
Hey, what up, T-REV?
What's going on? What's up, boss in the building? Boss in the building, man. He said, like he always says, and he said for the last 6-7 months, that like button is free 99. Make sure you smash it, man. Boss, what's on your mind, brother? Tell everybody what's up.
Yeah. You already know it's got to come out the horse's mouth first. Hit that like button. It's free 99. Ain't nothing wrong with hitting that little like button.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, boss, I know you have a whole different stance, and you know what? I want to make this point before I press play on this 6 minutes that you've always been respectful to me every time you called. You've always been respectful. You never disrespected me. You've never, you know what I'm saying? You've always been a person to ask questions and speak your mind. And I do want to tell you how much I respect that.
Hey, man, it's just reciprocated. You've been respectful to me, and you've been respectful to all your viewers, and so I do. I appreciate all. So let me get into it, right?
Yeah, get into it.
I'm going to start it off with 2 quotes. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And the other quote is, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Okay.
So going into the first quote, for every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. Dude, we got 4 wonderful souls that have left this earth, right?
Absolutely.
In a horrific way, with a knife. This wasn't nothing random. This wasn't nothing spontaneous in order for it to be pulled off so smooth like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave that right there. And then, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. The only bad actors that I've seen from the beginning of this, and also from my own personal experience dealing with Moscow and the Idaho State Police and other cities within Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Lewiston, Grangeville, I can go up and down the list, so I know what I'm talking about here. These cops are corrupt. Every body cam video, I see these cops doing something inappropriate, something that you and I would go to jail for. If we just walked into somebody's backyard or, man, I'm telling you, that the night of the Banfield, I've gone through this. there was a night vision telescope in the back seat of that car. The other day, one of our fellow YouTubers posted a video where the cops interrupted a party at the boys' house, the house that's down the hill from them. And the cop from like 2 blocks away is like, oh, wow, yeah, look at that JBL speaker. Like, there's no way you could see that JBL speaker from that far or even know it's a JBL speaker. It was inside of the house. So anyways, I'm still sticking to my guns. I think that MPD has something to do with this. It's kind of odd that Chief Fry was out of town that night. It's kind of odd that this happened right around where shift change takes place. Now think about it. You got a flat tire, right? I was just saying this to my daughter. If you got a flat tire, there's 100 people you can call. You can call your mom, your dad, roadside assistance, your neighbor, your side piece. I don't know, to come help you with your flat tire. But if you got dead bodies in your house, there's only one number to call, and that's 911. And it almost seems like they were instructed, like, do not call until 11 a.m. That's after shift change, and, you know, the last night's shift is gone, and I just need people to start looking at this in a different way. You know, I know a lot of people like police and like cops, and, you know, for the most part, I think most of them are good, but these ones here are bad, and people need to wake up and see that. Now, am I excluding Brian from having any involvement in this? Not necessarily. He kind of admitted some doubt when he got arrested and said, am I the only person that you have arrested?
Huh.
But he couldn't have did this alone, bro. I've been in the game a long time, man. Long time. Just like old Sal over there. What up, Sal? You know,
you know what though? I give you props because you've had this opinion damn near day one.
Yeah, I ain't gonna shake it.
You haven't changed from your opinion. Like, I mean, you change. You, of course, you got different shit that you're saying, but I'm saying in general, though, you have stayed in your same stance. You haven't changed up and been different. Like, you literally are speaking what you feel, and that's what I respect.
I appreciate you, T-REV, man, and man, you're doing such a great job. You're doing such a great job, even without a shirt.
Man, it's hot as hell in here. I feel like I'm in a damn attic.
Yeah, I'm down here in Arkansas right now. It was like 1,000 degrees here yesterday, man.
Hot as hell, man. You gotta stay safe out here in this treacherous hot weather.
Yeah, well, you know, that's all I really had to say. I know there's a minute and 45 left. I'm gonna leave that for someone else. I'm gonna pay it forward, but you know, I just really want people to start thinking outside of the box on this because this was not a spontaneous crime. There would have had to been DNA transferred to dude's vehicle somewhere. If you murk 4 people with a knife like that, man, we talking squirts. And, you know, either he would have had to take a shower in that house and have on a full lab suit. It's just almost, you know, impossible. You know, the only person that could have got away from this the way that I see it are the gangsters I've been seeing in the video, the bad actors, man.
Yeah, corruption is everywhere, and that's going on in a case with Christian Andriacchio. I don't know if you've seen that, but I feel like there's a lot of corruption going on in that case, and you got to look it up. The mom suing the state and all types of shit.
And I agree with you, but like I said with that quote, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And these dudes have absolute power. You know what I mean? Like, the security guard at Safeway, he might have power, but the police in Moscow, where there's no federal accountability over their head, where they could just do what they want, man, absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Boss in the building, I appreciate you, man, calling up and using your voice in the community and having a voice in the community. God bless you, brother, for sharing your voice.
God bless you too. I'm about to get back to my little blunt and my little coffee and finish watching your show, man.
I appreciate you, brother. God bless you, and thank you for calling up, my man.
Alrighty, bro. We're going to work on that music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm down to do a collab. Send me an open verse.
I got you.
And I'll bless it.
Yeah, God bless you, bro.
No doubt, my brother. God bless. Shout out to Boss. Shout out to Boss. He's been here for months. He's been on the channel for months. about 7 months now. Shout out to boss. Never changed his stance really, you know. 219-885-9693. I may respectfully disagree, but I gotta respect he keeps that same energy on his 479. It's your time to shine. What's going on?
Hey, T-REV, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Robert. How about yourself, brother?
I'm all right, man. This is where I'm at with this case here. I mean, it's been an emotional roller coaster for me, you know, with the families and Brian, is he, isn't he? And I just think in the end, there's one of two things that's going to happen. He's either going to lay on his back and watch light bulb wattage while they inject him, or he's going to get off and he's going to ghost out. Nobody's going to hear from him. He's going to get a job, but it ain't going to be for the law enforcement. It'll be for the other side. He's going to probably be one of the highest paid attorneys that the cartel or the mob will ever have if he gets away from this shit. So those are my only two outcomes. There's only going to be one, you know. Either he's going to die or he's going to work for the cartel or the fucking mob or some shit. That's all I see in that boy's future. But I don't see him, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's all fucked up.
Shit's crazy, man. We're seeing there's a lot of crazy shit going on in this case, especially it's like, damn, the prosecution and the defense is boxing. They're boxing with documents that they're putting out. You got one document that drops 5.7 octillion times, and then you got another document that drops here. This particular document I got pulled up. Well, there's 3 other, you know, profiles, and this, you know, I'm sorry, I see a lot of shit going on, and it's like, man, can we hear more of the story? Keep dropping these documents. How are all these documents coming out with this, you know, crazy gag order that's on it, you know?
Yeah. And I get it, you know. It's the defense's job. You know, it's already been said this morning. It's their job to create, you know, speculation and whatnot. And this ain't even the trial. So let's just see how it goes, you know. Do they have the right guy? Yeah, I still think they got the right guy. I think he's guilty. You know, so. But as far as the other DNA in there, I mean, the reason why they didn't test it is because, yeah, we know that there were people inside that house from, say, 8 o'clock in the morning until the cops showed up. There were other people there, you know. And maybe they already know who the DNA belongs to because they already talked to them. Hey, yeah, you went inside? Yes, sir. I went inside and I went upstairs and I saw it. Well, give me your phone. What's your name? Okay, well, give me your DNA. So they didn't have to run the test. You know, that's how I feel about it. They already know who DNA belongs to. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.
So your stance on the new documents is you think they know who the DNA profiles belong to that the defense mentioned in here?
I think they know who I think they know who the DNA belongs to. The other 3 or whatever, they know who it is. They just didn't run tests on it because, you know, like I said, they already talked to people. Yeah, I was in that room. Sorry. Did you take pictures? Oh yeah, we took pictures. Gross shit. You know, who knows, dude? I mean, that's been one of my biggest questions anyway. Is there was talk about all these kids or whatnot going in and out of that house before the cops got there, and nobody took video. Nobody took pictures. We haven't seen shit. I mean, we've seen bogus bullshit show up, but other than that, you know, there hadn't been anybody that, you know, has called saying, hey, I was there and I want you to know this is what I fucking saw. There was blood all, you know, nobody has ever called in any show that I know of and said, hey, I was there. I was one of the guys that, you know, was inside and blah, blah, blah. Nobody's been vetted, so. But that's where I'm at with it. You know, I'm not losing interest in the case, but I'm not going to, you know, every single day jump on and see who's saying what about what, you know, because in the end, I mean, it's just going to come down to it. You know, he's either going to, you know, get shot or he's going to, you know, probably get a job working for the other side, you know.
Yeah.
Because if you can get in and out and get away with 4 fucking murders, man, I mean, somebody's going to hire your ass to fucking defend them.
Like I'm surprised some higher attorneys haven't picked up this case and Brian's accepted it, because I'm sure there's a lot that would take this pro bono.
Oh, dude. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, this guy is BK, like we've been saying. I mean, he is definitely book smart. He's just fucking dumb as fuck, you know, when it comes to the street smart. So I don't know. There are lawyers out there that barely fucking got their degree. It's like, damn, I passed. Holy shit. Well, all right. I guess I'm a lawyer today. I would want to fucking. I don't know if I'd want to go up to him. Mind over mind. Dude's smart. Maybe they're afraid to fucking take him on. I don't know.
I mean, if you're grading students' papers in college, you gotta hold some type of, you gotta have some type of high IQ at some sort, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah.
I'm being realistic. That's me stating from a realistic standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds. Again, I still think that it's not going to be anything that's going to be solved tomorrow. It's still going to, a lot's going to come out. There's still a lot more that we don't know. So we just have to wait and see.
Absolutely. They're saying tomorrow, the sources out here are saying tomorrow's a big day for the case. So we're going to be live for it.
So what then? If they're going to go in there? I'm not sure how tomorrow is supposed to, roll out. What if the judge says, okay, well, they have to. I mean, is this just a fight to get the information for the defense to get the information that the prosecutor has, or is this going to be one of those deals where, okay, well, if you can't provide the information that they're not going to let him walk, are they?
We're going to find out because it's coming very soon. I'll tell you that much. Shit's crazy, bro. It's
implying that the bed had multiple men in it. Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Robert, I appreciate you calling in as always, man. Long time no hear, but I appreciate hearing from you, man. Thank you for calling up and having a voice as usual, and hopefully I hear from you again as usual.
All right, dude. Stay cool. Love you.
Love you back, brother. God bless you. That's my man Robert. Man. Everybody give it up for Robert. All right. So 219-885-9693. Let's hear from you. How Auntie able to make so much extra money since taking BK case? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a question for the law experts. I'll tell you that much. I have a brilliant sister, but she has zero common sense. Even most doctors and engineers aren't genius level. I mean, people make mistakes. People with high IQs make a mistake. Actually, that dude Stockton Rush was super smart, is what they say, right? Stockton Rush with the Titanic submarine that just crashed or blew up or whatever. What's going on? 423. You're on with me. You're live.
Hi. My name's Caitlin, and I was wondering how credible do you take the as if anyone else was arrested?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. What did you say?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were just breaking up.
Okay. So that Brian said, or he asked if anyone else was arrested, how much?
It's like you're in a bad spot with bad reception. You're breaking up on us. I want you to be heard. I want you to be heard. So maybe you move around or something. I don't want you to not to be heard because it's like skipping out every other word.
I'll call back in a minute.
Like I can hear you now. I can hear.
You?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Okay, now I'm not gonna move. Okay, so you remember when? Okay, people keep saying that Brian said that if anyone else was arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
How much of that do you believe? Like how strong is that for you?
I mean, that report first came from where I seen it. That was Brian Enton posting on Twitter. And if it is true, I don't know where he got that information from, but let's just say it is true. Is it a cat and mouse game, or is he being dead serious? You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because a lot of people talk about it like it's been verified or that came from like police, but he never says what he just says. I am told that Brian said that or
Right.
asked that.
Right.
So I just wanted to remind people that it's not a verified thing. Because I think it's like it probably did like a game of telephone, and I don't want the truth to get lost.
Absolutely.
All right, that's all I got for you.
Well, I appreciate you calling in and stating your opinion as usual. But yeah, that's a good point. And it came from Brian Enton. That's where I first seen it reported. I didn't see anybody else say that. I seen people talk about it after.
Yeah, he's the only one that said that, and it's only that one post. And he doesn't say if it's verified. He doesn't say it's wrong. And I think it was before the gag order. So.
Yeah, it was definitely before the gag order, 100%.
So if it was from the police, he would be able to say it was from the police or someone in the jail during the booking. Anyway, I just wanted that to remind people of that.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you bringing that up, and that's a good point. And I still think about that shit a lot when he said when Brian Enton put that out. I want to know where he heard that from, but hey, it's maybe there was some type of media person on site there, or I have no idea, because you would have to get that from some type of arresting officer, I would think, around there, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's people that work in the jail, but yeah, it would. I mean, for me, I think other people would be able to overhear it, and even if it's another like cellmate or whatever, they, not bound by the gag order now or anything. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I just wanted to remind people it's not a verified thing, and he's the only one that said it.
Yeah,
and it was before the gag order.
Very true. I remember seeing it right, like probably 3-4 minutes after he posted it. I went right to there, and I think we blew it up on stream. Actually, I had it pulled up on stream when he posted it. So,
someone said the arresting officer gave Brian.
your connection is really bad though. You're skipping in and out.
Sorry.
It's okay. I know it's not your fault. I mean, you can't help the service, but I appreciate you.
I appreciate you for taking my call.
Thank you, man. God bless your heart, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Stay safe. Enjoy the sun. Get out. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
God bless you. Shout out to her. I appreciate her. I couldn't really hear. I feel bad. I wish we could hear a little clear, because I know she had some stuff she really wanted to talk about, but it sounded real skippy. But shout out to her. 219-885-9693. Sounded real skippy, right? Sounded real skippy. Detective John might mow your lawn. What's going on? You're live.
Hello.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man. I just want to say I appreciate. I didn't know you were on live. Raining down here, so we're not out today. So I want to appreciate everything everybody said. I saw everything on chat. I feel the love. Everyone. So I'm fine. I did have a stroke, but my blood pressure is 118/78 just a few days before. I just had a lot of stress going on in my life with work, and I'm a pretty laid back guy, but I'm very passionate. I'm going to put it out there right now. People need to realize that I've spent the majority of my adult life serving my community.
Mm-hmm.
I've saved lives. I've done CPR on 2-month-old baby. And I've done CPR on a newborn on a bus that a lady had given birth on a bus, and the baby was stillborn and still had, was still bloody and everything. I jumped on a bus and saved that baby's life. There's so much about me that these other creators, and I'm not going to get into it, have attacked me because I stand up for justice, and I know the game that the defense is playing, and they're doing their job, everyone. But let's just stay focused on using our common sense here, and don't let this document where she uses words to confuse everyone. She says things like the knife was placed, which insinuates that the knife was planted. These are all tactics that the defense is using, and trust me, we haven't even seen a response from the state yet, but I'm sure it probably won't be a long narrative, but it'll be concise and to the point, and it'll be much more professional than this document. I feel like this document was for lack of a better term, it was a cocky way to respond, and had a lot of false narrative and a lot of basically kind of insulting dialogue. I don't think it was very professionally written, and I'm telling you, she may not be admonished by the judge publicly, but I think privately she will be admonished for submitting this document on that Friday without, it was a tactic used, and it was very smart. So we've had the whole weekend with nothing but this document to talk about, and she knows exactly what she's doing, everyone. So all I ask of the viewers is yes, you may have doubts from this, but please just stay focused on what we do know. And what we do know is a white Elantra was seen. They're beating up that because of the years that they gave out. A white Elantra, a 13 through a 15 look exactly the same. So let's keep that in mind. So there's a white Elantra seen, and I'm speculating, but I'm sure there's tons of other video with that white Elantra during the time of these murders by the crime scene. There's a lot of doorbell footage, I'm sure, out there, and that's what a lot of this evidence, these terabytes, are. So yes, this is a man that goes to school to study criminal activity. This is what he's doing. Do we not think that he went in there dressed in maybe a tie-back suit or something totally black that he could discard and get rid of, and not, he's smart enough to not get in the car and leave DNA. He's not an idiot. We're not talking about just some typical guy that was following some girls that decided he was going to murder one of them and wind up murdering three or murder two, whatever he went there for. I don't think he went there to kill 4 people. But, we need to get off of the car. I've always said the car is going to be pivotal just because the car was seen. But I don't believe the car is going to be pivotal because there's lack of DNA in the car. I've worked many, many, many cases where there was no DNA in the car, and all we had was touch DNA. And look at all the cold cases. Anybody bored, look up the cold cases that are being solved now just from DNA. And yes, even touch DNA. A peanut butter jar was one where the guy touched a peanut butter jar, and they kept the DNA from the peanut butter jar for 40 years, and they finally solved the case. It was touch DNA. So we to assume that touch DNA was planted on all these old cold cases. People make mistakes. That knife sheath he handled before he gloved up. He opened it up when he bought it. It's very easy to flip that snap, and that snap is very porous on both sides. It's got a male end and a female end. So you can wipe that off, but your DNA will get down in the crevices of the female end and maybe get in the end part of the male end when you're flipping it up and over. So that's where they got the touch DNA off that snap. And he could have cleaned all he wanted, but he wouldn't have probably thought to do that. He made a mistake, and, it's very believable. So all this other stuff, all I ask is everyone just stay focused on the evidence and don't buy into this narrative that we're reading right now. She's doing her job. That's it. And for all these other creators, and I'm not bashing them, they're jumping on a narrative that is just getting them clicks, in my opinion. I think this show, is diverse. You do both. and you respect both opinions. Nobody kicks anyone off here or yells at them or screams at them. But you go to any other show and you have my opinion, and man, they'll kick you off the show. It's, you know, I've done it to 3 shows and been kicked off. So why can't I go on there and kind of give my opinion? But, you know, we're not going to go there anymore. I don't care about these. Let's just focus on the T-REV show and everyone. I love being on this show. It's a pleasure for me to give my perspective and show everyone, you know, how the process works. And that's all I try to do. And if I've ever disrespected anybody, I don't think I have. But somebody said that I've said something about women. I've never, ever. I've always been very, I don't get where that comes from. I think people think because I was a cop for so long that I'm this hard, harsh, you know, just the fact man person. I'm not like that. All cops are not what people perceive them to be. The media has vilified police. This country is in a lot of trouble, everyone. It's in a lot of trouble. And then not in my time, I'll be dead. But my children and grandchildren may live in a country that is like the movie Escape from New York or Escape from LA, because we are heading in that direction. And we are a country, the United States of America is a country based on law. We are a country of law. We have a constitution, yes, we have freedoms, but we need to stay focused on this country because it is looking bleak, everyone. And you think these other countries aren't just laughing at us? They're laughing at us. We're imploding. Look at some of these cities and the riots and everything that's happened. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's
horrible.
It's wild shit going on out there.
My time's up, guys. I love everybody, and you know, just stay focused on the facts and remember what has actually been told to us, and use your common sense. Don't fall for this false narrative that you're looking on the screen.
We appreciate you, Detective John. The shit that I wrote you this morning, before I get off the phone with you, shit that I told you this morning is for something that I've went through on YouTube in general, and it sucked up and put me in a dark hole, and I just don't want to see a friend of mine have a fucking, you know, go through a stroke or something, you know what I mean, over the things that the crude things that are said by people who don't, you know, appreciate people like you and me that come on here, and everybody in the chat that has a great heart also, man. So I just don't want to see your health get declined because you're worked up over these people, and that's
I'm okay now. I've gone from a guy that I don't drink, I don't smoke. Not that anybody does is bad. I've never done anything like that in my life. I've never even been around weed my whole life. My dad was I could roll a joint, and I've never rolled one before because I watched my dad do it my whole life. My dad, my stepdad, that's the only dad I ever really knew, was a major drug dealer. Major. We moved to Champaign, Illinois from here when I was 14 years old because that's where he ran his dope, back and forth from Florida to Champaign.
We'll talk more about it. I'm gonna get some more people on there. The chat's going. They want to get on. I appreciate you, Detective John.
But I love y'all. I'll see you later.
We love you too, Bo. Shout out to Detective John. I appreciate you. 219-885-9693. Detective John, still you talking that shit. In my opinion, the defense is just doing their job to try to create, unfortunately, until trial. All right. 321, what's going on? You're live.
Oh, hi. This is Scarlett Joy.
Scarlett, what's going on? How you doing?
Okay, great. I'm very surprised I was able to get in. All right, so I've been watching you guys for a while. I've never called into a show before, so I might be a little bit nervous. One point I really wanted to make about Ann Taylor's masterpiece on Friday is that nowhere does she say that they are requesting to get the DNA and test it themselves. And there's a reason for that, because they know they're going to get the same result as the prosecution, and their only avenue is to attack the process. What do you think about that?
I'm looking. You got my ears. Listen, you got 5 minutes. I want to hear more.
Okay. So also, the one case that I did look up is the OJ case, and they never requested to do testing either. They just attacked the process. That's all they did. And as somebody in chat said that worked in a DNA lab, it's Brian. Okay. There's been a lot made about the knife, where it was positioned next to under Maddie. It's just semantics. That's all it is. And all these conspiracy people, oh, why wasn't it on top? How come they couldn't see it the first time? Blah, blah, blah. It's just, that's all it is. It's semantics. And I have some notes. The Here to Help You, I believe that was Brian. It sounds like something that they would teach you at a security guard job.
Mm-hmm. I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
That sounds like what they would teach you in orientation class. And as far as the amount of blood, I would be interested to see if there is a trail going downstairs from when he left Maddie and Kaylee. I think it's possible that there's not much as far as a footprint, because if they were on the bed, I don't think there may have been much to step in. But I believe he was covered. I believe he would have covered those seats in the car. If you're planning something for months, wouldn't you cover your car seats?
Right.
I mean, I'm just not surprised at all that they didn't find anything. And I don't think there's going to be anything under the fingernails. I think that knife was too powerful. And but I noticed Ann Taylor, she was very crafty. She made it sound as if there's no connection whatsoever. DNA, social media. She basically made it sound like there is literally nothing, which I don't believe that at all. And also, there's another interesting thing about people hearing things in the house, the roommates. Did you know that in the Amityville case, where the guy killed 6 of his own family members with a shotgun, there's no signs that anybody ever woke up during that. So
that's a good point. You got some very good points.
And then even the OJ case, because look, I'm 57, and I watched that OJ case every minute of it on a VCR when I got home from the mall from work.
You don't sound 57.
I am 57.
Sound like you're 25 years of running.
Oh, well, I'll take it. But, he killed 2 people outside. They were stabbed a total of 35 or 37 times. And that was outside, and nobody heard a thing. So, people need to, a lot of these people, they're a lot younger than I am, and I don't think they've done a lot of true crime research. I don't think they know what they need to do some more research. I don't know how much longer I have, but
you got 1 minute and 49 seconds, and that's a good point. Research, I do it every day to learn different things. There's a lot of stuff I understand that there's gonna be. Yeah,
because I didn't read it yet. I downloaded a long PDF about the OJ evidence, and I mean, at the time, really, his defense was masterful, and if you really listen to them, they were very convincing. But now when I look back and I read it, when I'm not in the middle of it, they had him dead to rights. But during the trial, it did not seem that way to me. But now I look back and there's a lot more blood evidence than it seemed that there was. So, I guess that's about it. And maybe
that's some very good points, especially with the OJ. Like, a lot of people are comparing this to the OJ case, and I see people comparing this to Casey Anthony. Like, look at the evidence that was in Casey Anthony's case, and she got off.
Yeah, I also, a lot of people, it's the same type of people now that is on certain channels. And I watched also every minute of her case. People just did not like the prosecutors. That's all. They didn't like them. But I feel like they knew their business, and the jury could not even figure out who was the caretaker of the child. Her mother was the caretaker of the child. And the jury selection person, they knew what they were doing. But
Definitely.
But I don't think Brian, for all the BTK thing, I don't believe that that was his role model. I think it's people like Richard Speck, Danny Rawling, and Ted Bundy, people who went in and killed college girls. That's right. And it was interesting, I saw something with Catherine Ramsland the other night. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on Peacock Channel with true crime. Some of it going back to the 70s and the 80s. And there was one case, it was the toy box killers in the 70s. And there was one investigator, she sent the toy box killer a list of questions like what Brian did on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting. So I'm interested to get the results of that.
If you can, email me that. I'd like to take a look at that.
Oh, what, the toy box killer?
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll try to. It's on Peacock. There's so many true crime shows on there. But I think, no, it's titled The Toy Box Killer. Mm-hmm. It's 90 minutes long documentary, but there's a whole, if you have Peacock Channel, there's so much on there about true crime and DNA and finding it years later. But yeah, there's a lot online if you want to look, if you don't just want to listen to like crazy conspiracy stuff.
Most definitely. I appreciate you calling in. You sound, like I said, you sound 25. You would never know that you were 57.
Okay, well, that's awesome. I'm glad I got through, and have a great day.
Shout out to you. You sound like New York or maybe Boston accent.
Okay. I was raised 60 miles north of the city, and people do hear New York.
I do.
Yeah.
I hear it all up in your voice.
Yeah, big Yankee fan.
Big Braves fan, so we collide a little bit, but
oh yeah, we did, but yeah, the Braves are all right, Boston, that's another story, but
God bless you.
All right, well, I'll be listening to the rest of the show.
God bless you. Lock your doors, stay safe, and thank you for having a voice in the community. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. God bless. Shout out to her. Wonderful soul. 219-885-9693. Let's hear from you. Wonderful soul. Is BK acting like a criminology PhD that's innocent? Damn, shouldn't he be able to offer help catch the real guy? His stone coldness is telling, says Jeff. I appreciate the support to the channel. I'm reading comments anyway. Love for the fame and treats for Sosa. Thank you, CKI. I appreciate you. 330, what's going on? You're live.
Not too much. I talked to you last week, T-REV.
What's going on?
Not much. I'm just, I don't know. I'm a little confused by some of the stuff with, especially, I give it to Ann Taylor. She did bring a lot of stuff out that we didn't necessarily know.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're saying that Jay wrote
other possible DNAs there.
Uh-huh.
If there really were 2 other male DNAs, who were they? Who are they?
Yeah, that's a damn good question. I said the same exact thing on initial read.
It does still continue to, raise just a little bit more reasonable doubt on his end.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And the prosecution's got, they got to have a good rebuttal, I'll tell you that much.
And then, I've been looking into that whole touch DNA thing. And in reality, man, if you touch anything at a store, your DNA can go wherever that item goes.
Right.
Not necessarily were you ever even there.
Yeah. That's a good.
That, and I also think it's really weird that has anybody checked that address on Google lately? It's no longer King Road. On Google, it shows it's Queen now.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you can't go up there anymore. And, if you go to actually, the Google Street View, it's very odd to me that corner house that sits right there at the corner when you make the turn to go up into where the 1122 King is at. There's actually on the Google Maps, there's a picture of a white Hyundai Elantra sitting in the driveway of that house. And I just looked at it yesterday.
Interesting. I'm gonna have
Again,
I'm about to.
I'm on it right now looking again to see if it's the same thing again.
King Road. It says King Road to me. Let me see. I'm pulling it up, looking at it.
Yeah, I'm on Google Maps right now. And where it's showing King Road to be at, that's not King Road. And if you look like at the corner house, literally that blue corner house, there's a white Hyundai Elantra sitting right there. There's a blue Honda CRV, it looks like. This looks like a Ford next to this dumpster. There's a Jeep there. There's a whole ton of cars right there at that corner house. Because I'm looking at it on my screen right now.
Right. Me too.
Like,
I just pulled it up.
Huh?
I said me too. I just pulled it up.
But do you see? There's a white Hyundai right there, possibly. Why? You know what I mean? It's right there.
Which one? Are you, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at, if you go to like literally the street view, where you can move along the street, it won't let you go up onto King anymore.
Right.
Where the actual house sits, it's got it all blurred out. But you can see the blue house. It looks like a blue ranch right there at the corner. There's a blue dumpster right literally at the corner of King and the new King, I guess.
It won't let me go down that road, but it says King Road.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, and I clicked on the picture that it showed, because I just put in Google Maps, went to Google Maps, and then put in 1122 King and clicked on the picture they gave you, and it'll take you to Street View.
Yeah, I'm on satellite.
And you can walk around, and you can actually literally move amongst the street, but you can't go up that street anymore. You can only go past that street. And like I said, I'm looking at a blue house, blue ranch. It looks like there's a gray 2-story in the background. You see the dumpster right at the corner, and then there looks like a blue Honda CRV right in front, a black Ford, and then right in the driveway, it looks like a Hyundai, a white one.
I seen that at the bottom.
White cars right there, huh?
No, somebody in chat was bringing up Jay right here signing this this new document, which it is right here. I see what she's talking about.
And I don't know why, if you have him on video, is it really is what Ann Taylor says in that thing right, in the aspect of you turned over a video of the car that was after he was already arrested on the wrong street, going the wrong direction at the wrong time?
Yeah, I read that too. So, I mean, they're insinuating that the state's hiding their case against Mr. Kohlberger.
Oh, I think they are. I think they are hiding the case. I just don't know why you're hiding it. If you have that much against him, why are you hiding and not wanting to turn it over?
Right. It gives that talk of, is it circumstantial? Right? That's what that throws out to me.
Oh, yeah.
They're insinuating the case they have is circumstantial, I feel like.
Yeah. That's how I feel, too. I feel that they're not going to be able to get, they don't have enough to get an entire jury to agree unanimously.
I didn't get it yet, Jeff. I'm looking for it, though.
There's too much reasonable doubt.
I respect that opinion. I see it. I mean, you're not the only one saying that either. There's tons of people saying that. His alibi. Yeah, that's another good question too that's being talked about. Why is it not? 7 months is no alibi. Where's the alibi?
Maybe his alibi was literally he was at home by himself. How do you prove that? You know what I mean?
Right.
How do you prove you were at home by yourself? Necessarily. Just because he's an odd duck doesn't necessarily make a murder a thought.
Agreed. I agree with that statement.
I do think he's very, very much an odd duck, for sure.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, Jeff. Thank you. Jeff sent that.
I just don't, as far as like I've said, but like I said to you last week when we were talking, there just isn't enough there yet. They have not put enough really out on the prosecution side for you to be exactly Yeah, that's the exact picture that I have, that I'm looking at right now.
That's the I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. I appreciate you calling in and sharing your opinion again. Thank you for calling back and having a voice in the community. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
God bless you, man. Hopefully I hear from you again. I can't wait to hear from you. I mean, I can't wait for the trial to come because I'm not missing a second of it.
Oh, neither am I, man. Now that they've allowed cameras, hopefully they'll allow them live. We'll have
Even if it's
see
not
there's
live,
delay or not.
even if it's not live, as soon as the footage is released, I'm watching from start to finish, and I won't miss a second.
Well, I wonder though if they're going to do like they did in the Valos case, though. Are they only going to let you have audio and not video, like actual see him?
Yeah, they could change it, but as of now, cameras are allowed. So let's hope it stays that way. But hey, anything can change. I appreciate you calling in, and I'm gonna get some more people on. Thank you so much for having a voice in the community. Lock your doors, stay safe, and enjoy the weather.
Yes, I will. Have a good one.
You too, man. Shout out to her. I appreciate her calling up. Thank you. Shout out to her. 219-885-9693. Let's hear them opinions. Come on. You guys requested a call-in show, and that's what we're doing. Let's get to it. 219-885-9693. 757 sent from heaven. Happy birthday, Donna. What is going on? You're live.
Hey, Trev. Look, I was listening to the last caller, and I was thinking about a couple things. Now, I don't think this is a circumstantial evidence case. You know, I think they took this to a grand jury, so there has to be probable cause. There has to be the evidence that they provided to this grand jury had to be enough for them to decide to indict him. So that in itself shows they have something that's substantial because of the fact that they have to prove probable cause. You know, it can't just be some bullshit. So, number one, that's my thought on that. Again, another thing she was talking about, I saw this picture too a while back. You got to look, when you're looking at Google Maps, you have to make sure you look at the date that it was taken.
Yeah, 2020, or I think that said October 2021.
Yeah, because I ran into a problem with that on something else, and it was like a year. It was a year-old picture. So those people may not even been living there at the time. And also the blurring out of the houses, that's not done by law enforcement. That's actually done by the owner of the house. You can go on to Google and blur your house out so you don't want people to see where you live or see what your house looks like. You can.
But I mean, we could debunk the one house because we definitely seen the police there collecting, in pictures, standing right by a camera.
Well, right. But see, if you look, there's been more than one house on that street that's blurred out, and that's done by the owners can do that on their own. They just don't want it to be part of this case or to be seen, what their house looks like or whatever, because they have been collecting cameras. Mm-hmm. And it is a feature that Google does provide for anybody. And as far as, this is another thing. People were saying, well, they have Brian Kohlberger, coming. They've got to have him on camera. They could have seen him come out of the house, or they could have, well, according to Dylan, he was dressed in all black, So say, for instance, hypothetically, there was a camera that was pointed towards wherever, wherever he could have gone in. If he was ninja style, you wouldn't have been able to identify him anyway. So, to me, the identification process is leaning back towards DNA. They're not talking about the bodies. They're not talking about DNA within the killing site. They're not talking about anything there. They're talking about, the sheet, okay, the touch DNA. But they haven't given us anything about inside the house. We've never heard anything except for that. And that was from the very beginning as part of the statement by the police officer that first saw it. It wasn't under a comforter. It wasn't under her body. If you read the paperwork, He saw it from the door. It was visible from the door. So, and this was his statement from when he first walked down the hallway and actually looked into the room. So, read it. It's in the paperwork. So, that's another thing. They haven't talked about DNA anywhere in the house because I think that's part of their case. They're not going to divulge that because I think that is what they've presented to the grand jury. And plus, if they're looking, I don't know if they're looking for the person that the DNA belongs to. Maybe, just because they have DNA, you got to remember, not everybody registers on Ancestry or, those other, I don't know what the other ones are called, but not everybody, unless your family member or you yourself take a test. Even if you take a test, okay? If someone looks up your tree and you're alive, the only thing it says is living. It doesn't give you any information. So, it's like maybe the person that the DNA belongs to has not been identified. Maybe they have not identified that person because they can't find who that person is, and that's why it's not. If there is another person, I was even thinking to myself yesterday. I was like, well, Ethan had a brother, and maybe the DNA is. Maybe his brother came over there and hung out, and someone said, well, they're triplets. They'll have the same DNA. No, they're not because they are fraternal triplets. There's a girl in there, so they all have different DNA. If they were identical triplets, then they would all be the same. So the brother's DNA would have matched Ethan's DNA because they would have been identical, but they're not. So if he came to visit or whatever and hung out with his brother over there partying with the girls because he was on campus, it could have happened, He could have, but he would have had a different DNA. And so we're, the boyfriends and all that stuff, they're not saying who the DNA belongs to. I think it's a ruse in some way. Wonder, right. But I'll let you go. Time's up.
Donna, back again. Happy birthday. Get you a damn cake, too. Shit. I'll buy you one.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
If you need a cake, I can, have it set up to your nearest place, a cake from the Rep Game family.
Oh, I'm good, but I'm
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what?
Come on, ice cream cake? Come on, you going to turn down a free ice cream cake for
I got a cake sitting on my table from yesterday. I had a family gathering over here.
Okay, all right.
But I'm with my family. I got my T-REV family with me today, and I feel good about it. I'm glad I get to share some time with you guys.
Thank you, Donna. God bless you. Happy birthday.
Right.
And for more years to come.
All right. Thanks so much.
God bless you, Donna. Shout out to Donna. Happy birthday to her again. 219-885-9693. She won't let me buy her a cake. I set up a placing an order for a cake. I want to get her a cake for her birthday. Whose birthday is it? Cake. 801. What's going on? You're live.
Hey T, it's Cindy up here in Idaho.
What's going on, Cindy?
Well, I got some info, I think, and I don't know if you guys heard, but the judge said, I gotta mute my TV down. Sorry. The judge said one camera is gonna be allowed in the courtroom. I don't know if it's gonna be one that can kind of spin around and look it around, or how it'll be focused, but that was on the local news here over on Sunday yesterday. But I don't want people to lose hope because of what Ann Taylor put in all these documents. It's scathing. It seems like the state has nothing, but she, remember, has gotten nothing from the state so far. That's the third and the fourth to compel to get some damn information. She's just going along writing down what she thinks it is, that they don't have this and they don't have that and all that, but what has been proven to us Has the FBI come out and said there's nothing in the car? Or is it Ann Taylor telling us this? And so, just for the time being, give the state a chance to respond to what she did, the judge a chance to respond to what she did, because she's out of line right now and grasping for straws. I think she wanted to make it look like this, wanted us to speculate, wanted us to start doubting our own selves and what we've learned all this time. And it's not going to work for me. I still know that they've got his DNA. That when I said, ask John if the ISS is going to hold up to the GSS or whatever, but it's investigative genetic genealogy, and they are protecting that, and they're not having to give everything to Anne, and she got PO'd and let loose her wrath in these documents, and almost any woman can see the wrath. That, she's put a little of this and a little of that, and Brian's probably written it up himself and had it be her declaration, because he's had nothing but time to study and write down stuff. But I'm not losing my hope that this is going down the right direction. I hope to God not. And, I don't see the police planting anything in there. How could they have known Brian Koberger and to go have him touch something or make sure they found something he touched and brought it to that house? No. And I think it was Hollis or whoever was just on, it's their birthday. What she said too, is that they haven't revealed anything, new. That this isn't new. This is all their speculation, all their concern, all their wonder and worry, because the state has not given them how they want the discovery, how they want the DNA, how they want it to be given to them, not to sift through 51 terabytes and what the hell am I looking for, and in all of this, if it's not labeled and time stamped and everything. So I'm just saying, don't lose faith, please. At this stage, it's too early. Let's see what the judge says, what the state has. If they fold, I guess we'll all fold. But we've had heart and passion and done this with Brian, with the evidence we've been given, and it hasn't been a lot, but it's been enough. And I've done my ancestry DNA, and people can look on my ancestry and see my relatives, but there's other sites that I'll get a message that says from somebody, please enable viewing, I think I'm a relative, or something like that, and then you have to turn it on for other people. But I'm in there. I did my dad's DNA. I did all of ours, the grown-ups. But a dad and my brother would have been not worth it, because they would have been the same. A dad, a brother, and uncle, they can get the same DNA from those three. So that's why they knew it was his dad. They knew, and it's just too good to be true, the DNA. And Anne is terrified of it. She's afraid.
Yeah,
so
that's another thing that what Sleuthie keeps saying in chat. A lot of people don't know that this document was written by Jay, not Ann. But I'm sure, maybe they sat down and worded it together. Who knows? But it's definitely by Jay.
Right, and Sleuthie. Yeah, Jay Lodge, and I agree, Sleuthie. I do believe it was not written by Anne by herself, because this just hasn't been Anne's style. She's, by the book, on top of the book and everything. She's a very... This other new attorney, the lady one, is also pretty strong. Was that my timer?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say that please, guys, don't lose hope.
Absolutely. Definitely don't lose hope. I mean, we want the right person, right? And we're gonna
We
stick
want the right person, and
Mhm.
if it's not Brian, we'll accept it and go with that. But right now, he has not had an alibi. He has not denied it. He has not said he's not guilty. He's guilty as shit, and we all know it.
Well, Cindy, I appreciate you calling up and sharing your voice. God bless you.
Okay. God bless you.
Thank you for calling in from Idaho. We appreciate you.
You betcha. Lock
Yeah.
your doors, everybody.
Yes, lock your doors. You know what
Bye-bye.
that is. Shout out to Cindy. I appreciate it. 219-885-9692. Shout out to Cindy. Well, Suki was there the next morning because when you went there the night before, you wanted the bag, Regina? 937 sent from heaven. What's going on? You're live.
Hey, so I just wanted to say I got so caught up in these documents and stuff the other day, and I was sitting here and I was like, let me just get on Instagram and go look at Kaylee and Maddie and Xana's stuff and just remember them. So I found all these funny videos of Xana and, you know, just them goofing off and having fun. And it just brought me back down, I guess you could say, you know, that it is about them and they should be remembered out of all of this and not, you know, just Coburger. And it was just, I don't know, it just kind of took my mind to a different place because I was getting so just like caught up, like we talked about the other day, with, you know, the crap going around and all the drama and this and that.
Absolutely.
So it just helped me to kind of, you know, go and watch their funny videos and stuff and just realize that they were living their life and it got taken short by somebody, regardless whether it's Coburger or not. But the DNA, the 3 male DNA that they found, that's not really a shocker to me. I don't see that as like something that's surprising, considering, you know, they have people in and out. You got 5 people living in a house. They have friends over and whatnot. But if they really didn't test that DNA and haven't like spoken to those people, which I'm sure they have, but if they haven't, then I have a huge problem with that.
Absolutely.
And I would, you know, I would hope that they already went over that, because obviously it's in paperwork somewhere from the prosecution. But if they didn't, then yeah, I definitely have a huge problem with that. Yeah. And that would kind of make me go, well, why did you never test this DNA? You know?
Same thing I said. That's the same thing I said on the last stream. I was like, man, that's the question I had. You know, I was like, damn, well, why? You know, they need to be tested.
Right, exactly. If they haven't been, then yes, that's a huge problem to me.
It just leaves a reasonable doubt out. It just leaves a reasonable doubt standpoint out there for, you know, if you want to talk realistically, it does.
Mm-hmm.
They could run with that, and that could fuck up with the mind, or that could fuck with the mind. And excuse my language, that could mess with the mind of these jurors. To be honest with you.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Because, well, I mean, Ann Taylor's doing her job, so anybody that's, you know, mad at her for putting this out, which maybe she might get in trouble by the judge for putting some certain things out, but she's doing her job. This is what she's paid to do, whether she thinks he did it or not. This is what she does. So she's just doing her job and doing it. I mean, I think we can pretty much all agree she's a hell of an attorney based on her track record. And she's going to do what she has to do for her client, whether we like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't fault her.
I mean, who's to say that they don't have those answers? If they're, let's say that they are hiding their case, who's to say they're not hiding the fact that they might have got the DNA for these people that they're speaking about in this, defense document.
Right.
And that's another thing that I question is I'm waiting to see what the prosecution has to say, because it has me on the edge of my seat waiting for these documents to come out. And tomorrow's going to be a big day in this case.
Yeah. So what exactly is going on tomorrow?
So tomorrow, let me pause your time for 1 second because I'm going to read it again. And a lot of people are talking about it on Twitter. One post says, please be advised that tomorrow is a big day. Actually, this is coming from on Twitter. Jennifer Coffendorfer, a lot of people follow her, a lot of people hate her, a lot of people don't hate her, a lot of people, there's a lot of stuff surrounded by her because FBI, she's been in the field, she's on News Nation, they're putting out all these different, things about Brian, etc., and I do think that's kind of wild. But what she said was, please be advised that tomorrow is a big day in the Idaho 4 case. The items attached will be addressed by Judge, addressing each one in a separate tweet. Motion to compel. Big item. The defense wants the prosecution to provide discovery pertaining to DNA tests concerning the genetic genealogy that was performed, as well as information related to the scientists that performed them. Now it says there are arguments on both sides. Judge will have to sort through the law and precedent regarding what the pros must provide. There are other items requested as well. It says timelines could be set if judge agrees to compel the pros. They may not. Judge could agree with the pros that under the law, this information as well as other information sought has either been provided or is not discoverable. We shall see. Remember, it is mathematically impossible that the DNA on the sheets found under Maddie's body is not Brian Kohlberger's. This puts the defense in a spin. They acquired BK's DNA legally in the sheath legally. And there were multiple roads that led to BK being a suspect. Most noted is a launcher caught on camera speeding away from the murder scene. Eye on the facts. Now, she also posted a document that tomorrow is the motion to compel at 1:30 p.m. Judicial officers, Judge John, location courtroom 3, in person, defendant first. Okay, so I see. So defendant's first, second, and third motions to compel. And then what else do they have here? Motion hearing. So it's a motion to compel and motion hearing tomorrow. All at 1:30 p.m. So we're talking about 3:30 here? 3:30 p.m. tomorrow we'll be here? Okay.
Because you're an hour behind me, I think. So, and I think that they're 3 hours behind me, I'm pretty sure. So, okay, so that'll be interesting then.
We'll definitely cover it. I'll probably be on early morning all the way until it's done.
Oh, I'll be here.
Whenever I wake up, I'm going to hop on.
Yeah, I mean, I can't fault Ann Taylor for doing her job and putting out things, and you know what I mean? That's part of her job. That's what she's doing. It is what it is, but I'm not sure who it was that called earlier. I recognize her voice, and I'm not trying to be like confrontational or contentious or whatever, but it does say in the documents that were released last that the knife sheath was partly under the comforter and Maddie's body. So it wasn't, it could have still been visible from the doorway because it was only partially under it, but it did say that it was partially under the comforter and her body. So I'm not sure, because, everyone was making like a big thing about one of the officers and one of the PCAs not noticing it like right away. And that was like a big thing for people. Like, how would you not notice the sheath if it was right there? Well, it was partially covered. So, who knows how much that means? I don't know. That could have been half, less than half, or whatever. But I was still trying to wrap my mind around that, though, about the sheath. I mean, I was trying to think about it I guess from a killer's point of view, which is kind of hard to do, but I'm like, would I walk in with it on my belt, or would I already have it out? Would I even have the sheath on my belt? Like,
Right.
I was just thinking of that in my mind, and I'm like, I don't know. To me, I would probably snap it on me. So, I mean, that leaves a whole nother discussion as to how it got there.
Right. Yeah. How did
But
it get there?
I hear
That's
my
the question,
time's
though.
up.
How did it get there? I know the timer went off, but still, though, it's still great. I mean, how did it get there? How did it get there? Was it set there? Was it knocked off? Was there a struggle? What was it?
Right.
Yeah,
That's what's been racking my mind a little bit, and everyone else probably doesn't even like care about that little fact, but
I do.
It's just little stuff like that.
I do. I definitely do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be placed. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a little. It racks my mind. I definitely think about that a lot and reflect on it. I'm like, man, the sheath placed next to Maddie's body. Like, it just, yes, it runs through my mind. So you're not the only one. Know that. I definitely, it runs through my mind constantly.
And I do want to say real quick, if they really didn't find any DNA in his car, house, whatever else, had they not, it sounded like had they not found that sheath, that he may have gotten away with it completely. So if he is the killer, thank God that happened to be left behind. I don't believe it was planted, but that's another story. But all right, I'll let another caller get on here. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the voice in the community. I appreciate you. God bless you. Where are you calling in from today? Statewide. Ohio in the building. Shout out to you. Enjoy your day, and thank you for being here, and thank you for having a voice in the community. We appreciate it. God bless you, man.
God bless you too.
Lock your doors. Shout out to her. You gotta lock them doors, yo, and your windows and your car. 219-885-9693. What's your thoughts and opinions? New documents that drop Friday. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. Is there going to be any documents that come out and stump this? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I'm on the edge of my seat right now. 330, you're on the show. What's going on? You're live.
Hey, T-REV, I'm calling back again. I just spoke with you a little bit ago. I've been seeing some comments coming through where people are saying when they do Ancestry, they got to give permission for their stuff to get out or to be used by other parties. What if that's why they're being so secretive about the DNA and how they actually got to his DNA? Say you run my DNA through Ancestry and one of my cousins becomes a familial match, and you almost create a family tree out of it, which narrows you down to my mom or my dad. But what if one of those people did not give you permission to use their DNA for that event?
A lot of good points being brought up this morning.
And that's why they don't want to give how they got all of that. Because they do seem to be very secretive about how they actually got the DNA placed to him there.
You there? Did I lose you?
I was just sitting here thinking about it as I was reading through the comments as they come through.
Oh, okay. I was like,
and I'm like, okay, if Ancestry and that really is like that, and you have to give permission for your stuff to be used by law enforcement or third party, and you can decline it, what happens if you found a familial match and just kind of went through the tree, so to speak, and backtrack that way, but use somebody who necessarily you might not have supposed to do? Because, I mean, unfortunately, we all know the police do some shit that they're really not allowed to do.
I'll tell you what, when it comes to that whole DNA off the cigarette thing, I don't know, for some reason why I think that, and I'm just saying this, and this is just me speculating. I don't know it to be 100% fact, so I'm not even going to throw it out there as a fact. But when I think, oh, they got DNA and they, got somebody or, cleared somebody, was that Jack Showalter who was with them allegedly? And I'm putting that out as allegedly because I have no idea, but I'm just speculating on it. Was he clear? Because, I mean, remember how much people were grinding him up, and then he was on video camera with them at the food truck, and they went into the vehicle, and he walked off, turned right. So I don't know if that, Could it have been him they cleared? I don't know.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, is we don't know whether they did identify those other two male DNA or they didn't. That prosecution hasn't told us. If they didn't, though, then yeah, you really should. Because I've seen some people say that, that they've heard that they didn't identify them because they belonged there.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in my mind, the only fingerprints that should necessarily belong there or DNA that should belong there are the people that live there, and Ethan, because he's passed away there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else could come into question. I don't care if it's your boyfriend or your dad, or everybody should come into question, because we all know with the way the world works, boyfriends kill, dads kill, brothers kill. They all, it's not out of the realm. Just because your DNA's there doesn't necessarily still make it to where you couldn't be the killer either.
Mm.
So everyone that is not people who live there or pass there, everyone should all be questioned for DNA. Male, female, whatever.
I don't know. I think about, did they clear these people? I want to know that, because now it seems like maybe the defense is trying to pull the prosecution's arm and get them to come out with this grand jury information, what they used to show the grand jury ultimately. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a play for that.
Just like I've always had a problem with the one single shoe print that you found outside of Dylan's door.
Mm-hmm.
You had a party there the night before. It's already been reported with 100+ people in it. You can see where they didn't necessarily clean up after that party if you look at the pictures from early on. You mean to tell me you only got one shoe print out of all those people that are trafficking in and out of that house? You got one? There's 6 people in there just right then and there at the moment that all this happened, and you don't get any of their shoe prints?
Right.
You have one? Because you put in the PCA that you got one shoe print outside of her door.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, you can tell they didn't clean up that much after the party, so where's all the rest of those people's prints?
Good point.
There's a lot of things for me that they put out that I don't understand.
What do you mean by party, though? What do you mean by party? Because as far as we know, there was only the roommates there that night, and
the night that all this happened. The night before, they had a party.
Right.
Friday night they had a party, not the night of the murders. The night before the murders.
Okay, I'm glad you recorrected that for me, so I knew what you meant.
No, not the night of the murders. The night before them. And you can see, like in them early pictures that news media takes from outside, you see where there's still, red Solo cups all over the place. You can tell there's still remnants of a party left there. So where are all the prints of all those people that were there? The shoe prints of all those people that were there?
Good points being brought up this morning. I appreciate you calling in. Again. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Yeah. Where you calling in
Good
from?
one.
Where you calling in from, state-wise? Is it hot, cold?
I'm in Ohio.
A lot of Ohio in the building today. Shout out to Ohio.
Where we got a lot of them coming down here. I mean, we got the gentleman who just assassinated his children.
That's disgusting.
We also had a woman who left her 15 or 16-month-old kid alone for 10 days to go on vacation.
That's disgusting work.
And came back and the child was dead.
I didn't hear about that. Yeah, can you send me an email on that? That's crazy.
Yeah, I could send you some stuff on that. We got a lot of stuff that goes on in the state of Ohio.
That's so crazy. I appreciate you calling and being a voice in the community. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. Shout out to you in Ohio. Lock your doors, stay safe. And if you have any other thoughts on your mind, you can call back. Anybody can call.
Hey, I just kind of read stuff and have thoughts as they come into my head as the live goes on. So
thank you, man. I appreciate that. Everybody else does too. One. You too, man. Shout out to her. 219-885-9693. Make sure you call in. Mr. Gaslighting 101. Why did the caller sound like Gigi? They noted one in the PCA doesn't mean they didn't find more. Huh. 412. What is going on with you? Welcome. You're live.
Hey, good morning.
Good
I was
morning.
just
Good
calling.
morning. What's up?
It's up. Well, about this case, I've been watching like what all the defense have said, and they keep like they're saying that they want a lot of like the other DNA, like the other investigations. But what I've come to understand about the defense, like I'm always for the defense to some degree, but what I have come to understand is they tend to not lie, but embellish. Like they'll say something like total lack of, but there really be something there. You know, like I watch the YNW Melly or whatever, and the defense was like, oh, he wasn't even around. Oh, he wasn't doing this. He was, but at the end of the day, while you're watching it, you're like, yes, he was. He was too there. They have him pinged off. You don't want him to have the phone. You don't want to say that's his phone, but that's his phone, and he's calling his mother from his phone from the area. It's just crazy that people don't realize it isn't so much that the defense has to quote unquote lie. They can just embellish their beliefs. And it doesn't matter what it's written on. This is defense truly trying to fight for Brian Kohlberger. So I'm not saying that there's DNA or there isn't DNA, but you have to ask the question because they always say that. Like every single case from Murdaugh, YNW, Melly, Amber Heard, they're all just so innocent, and the defense will convince you that this is really happening until they get in court and the prosecution come out and get to throwing all these papers and these pinpoints and make you understand, no, that was him. He was there. He did it. So I think I was shocked with what they had to say about the DNA and about not having things and about these three other guys. But at the same time, the prosecution's not going to tell the defense who all they cleared and what they didn't clear. And the defense says if they've tested it, we don't have it or something to that effect. And I'm like, well, but they did test it. But they do have it. I don't know if they tested the glove from outside, but I really believe they have tested the other DNA. And they're not going to give you all of their investigations throughout the whole, because there were a lot of people that had to be cleared, from the roommates to the boyfriends. Hell, you know them, they probably checked the parents out too, because so much crazy cases have come along. They didn't just pull Brian Kohlberger out the woodwork out of nowhere. They just didn't. I'm sure they were like, "Wow, who is this?" But you understand what I'm saying? Like the defense has a tendency to always blow something out of proportion. Talking about he didn't know that he didn't have no contact with them, connection with them. Okay, then you're gonna have to prove that he had no connection, because I've heard too much about him being on Maddie's Facebook and or Instagram and liking all her pictures and this, that, and the third before they pulled the Instagrams down or whatever. So I'm just gonna more or less look and watch a little bit harder because of what defense said. Mm-hmm. But I would really more or less just understand that these are just it's just the way they embellish things. It's just become common. I used to get shocked when they would say something like, "My client doesn't even know this man," and I'm like, "Oh wow, he doesn't." And then the prosecution come on and just blow it out the box, and you're trying to figure out, why did you say that? I said it because I'm the defense, and I have to make you feel this way. That's just the way it is. I don't think they're blatant lies, but they are definite over embellishments in all that they say. That it's just the way it's always been, and they always make the prosecution look stupid until halfway through the case. If they're good defense attorneys.
Yeah, you're right too. The defense attorneys, this is their job, is to create reasonable doubt.
Definitely. And that's the only way they can do it. They can't excuse me, they can't just keep taking the prosecution throwing things down. I know when I read it, all my mind said was, see, this is why they need to unseal and allow that gag order up so somebody can say something to somebody, because now they're putting all this out here and we're all like, huh? 3 other people? Huh? You don't have any evidence in the other places? Huh? What is going on? But then I'm waiting for it later on tonight. Prosecution going to throw, just like they kept saying they didn't have any of the evidence. And then the prosecution said, you got 51 terabytes. What do you mean? No, well, we want these 3 specific things. You over embellished that like you didn't have nothing on your table while you were sitting there with 51 terabytes of meat to eat on, 10,000 pieces of paper to take a document to take a look at, and 9,000 pictures. So now you're saying there was nothing nowhere in none of those other places. It's a lack of evidence. Lack doesn't mean zero. It just doesn't. Not especially. That's all I'm saying.
Somebody said Kia Optima. He said, "Oh, Jeff sending over these." Okay, I see you, Jeff. Yeah, that's. He said the Ascent car debunker. Kia Optima.
What happened? Who?
Jeff said, you know, the woman that called earlier was talking about if you get on a satellite, there's like a launcher right there at the house nearby. He sent over a car that kind of does match it. Yeah, that's close as hell.
And everybody's talking about the launcher. They don't seem to remember that a launcher that the public has is a picture that Brian Eaton took a whatever his name is, took a picture of a photo inside of the gas station. We don't even have the evidentiary pictures and photos of the car. That's a picture of a photographer Brian took at the gas station when they were talking about cars, and the gas station said they had reported a car. Do you really think that the police, after they reported it, left the video there for everybody to see without them seeing it?
Yeah, no doubt. Next panel. Somebody said it'd be awesome to have this caller on panel sometime. Actually, next panel I have, she is gonna be on. So I'm pretty sure this is Pittsburgh in the building.
Oh, definitely. This is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay, then I definitely told her she's gonna be on the next one. So hold me on to that. I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you calling in with your thoughts. Next panel I do have, you will be on. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you.
God bless you. And lock them doors and the windows.
Love and light.
It now.
Love and light, baby.
Absolutely. Love and light. Definitely. Enjoy your day.
You too. God bless you. Pittsburgh in the building. Shout out to Pittsburgh. 219-885-9693. Jeff said, here is the card debunked. I want to bring that up. Jeff said, he said, let's bring that up. Emailed you the card debunker. Appreciate it, Jeff. 951, what's going on? You're live.
Hey, buddy, let me try to explain why I thought different. Not thought differently, but let me explain what made me go back to that page you were on before with the documents, please.
What's up? I'm back on it.
Where I can't see it.
It takes a minute for you on the other side because there's a delay, but I have it up.
Okay. All right. It says something about there was no blood evidence in his home, his car, his office. No blood evidence of the victim in his car, office, and a bunch of shit. Anyway. And do me a favor. Go up to. But could you get to that page where it says that?
I mean, there's where? What exactly? What statement you're talking about?
It was the page that you first had up all day. You had that
Yeah,
page
right
up
here.
there.
I have it. I have it up right now. Where's? I got it up right now.
Oh shit!
You're all over Moscow.
Not the long sleeve.
People be like, the same people. You be letting the same people call in. Well, you got to call in to get through. Some people just don't call.
I don't know where it was, but it said something about there was no blood evidence of the victims in everything. Now, if you go, I think it's at the top of the page, they mentioned something about his address was wrong at the car. It's 1112 instead of 1122. Going the wrong way. I think it's at the top. I think it's at the beginning of the document.
Talking about 911 5 Madison Morgan law enforcement Kate Barnett. She was placed under. It says place partially. She. But what are you trying to get at? What's up though?
I'm trying to explain why I feel I'm balancing things out. Like I said, 7 months ago, I had this guy dead to rights. And I still think he's a killer. But all this shit that's coming out, it's got me thinking. You can't help but think. Oh, there it is, right there. Listen to that. Seen on camera, located at 112 King Road. Not 1122 King Road. First glimpse of officers on November. Please believe the car to be an Elantra and ask law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's shit like that. Now, I don't know if that could be a typo, or do you have a typo in something as important as this? Wouldn't they have to fix that? No, it's just something about that.
But guess what? The one
road. If you look down.
Listen, Papa Sal. This is the 1122 resident. Just for everybody who wants a visual, it is the house next door that's 112. 1112. It's this house that I have on screen now, just for the visual for everybody in chat.
Yeah. Now, if you go down a little bit, you'll see something about Ridge Road. I think that the back of that house is on Ridge Road, and that's where he's going the wrong way, I think.
So the let's put it out there for everybody who's in chat right now. The address that the document with the white sedan, they're talking about this house right here on screen.
Right.
This is what they're talking. So they're saying that this house has camera footage, which explains, and I already speculated that's why this house is blurred out, in my opinion.
Of course. Right. I know. That's the same house that picked up the dog barking and the whimpering, the cat peeing. I know. Listen, I don't want everybody in chat to crucify.
People think this is the Panty Raid house too. It's not. It's not the Panty Raid house. It's actually that house is next door.
Right. Well, listen, I'm just letting you know why I think that. You know what I mean? Why I'm thinking about shit like that. It's because of what they're saying. And like I said, I know they can't lie. It's against the law, and Ann Taylor knows it. The DNA on those streets, the DNA, I believe, is their boyfriend. In that room. They were all clear. Even the glove outside was clear. And I don't know where I read that, but I did. And as far as the night sheets, I think it was in his back pocket. I think the knife was in his back pocket. No, I'm not getting pissed off. That's just the way I thought. And that's how it fell out. Because if he was wearing the jumpsuit, there's no belt.
Yeah.
Okay? So he had to have the fucking thing in his back pocket. And that's how he lost it. And as far as them finding it, the first officer that went in didn't see it. The second officer that went in is the one that found it. And I truly don't believe it was put there. I really don't. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, nah, Papa Sal, good point. Brought up. I mean, it made me go back to this camera also and pull this up. Or actually, not the camera, but the residence breakdown and where the camera's at. It actually made me think of that, and it is the 112, which is next door. So that's a good point. And by the way, chat thinks I'm pissed off at you. So Papa Sal, you know what? I'm pissed at you right now. I'm angry. You pissed me off today. You know.
Don't let me come there and break every fucking bone in your face. Okay?
I love you, pal.
I love you too. Sorry to call again. I give somebody else a chance. I'm sorry.
No doubt.
All right.
Papa, you can always call. I tell people they can call back. You ain't got to apologize for that. You know, you can call. If you hang up right now and call back and got through, you're on again. This works that way. People can call in as many times as they want. There's no, you get one call a day, everybody. It doesn't work that way. If you get through and I answer it, then you get on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is. People can call in as many times as they want. Every time you get through, you get 6 minutes. It's just, it works that way around. And it is what it is. It shows me 2 phone calls at a time that are people that are calling in. If they call in at the same time, it'll show me the 2 calls. I pick one and answer.
And you know, one more thing, and I'll hang right up. He went to the doctor the next day. He went to the doctor and he taught the class. You know, little fucking shit like that makes me think. All right, let me go. I love you.
I love you
all
too.
Right? Go ahead.
Can't get anything else, call back.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Donna.
Yeah.
I love you.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to Donna. We love her. Thank you, Papa Sal. I'll talk to you shortly, pal.
All right. Bye-bye.
Shout out to Papa Sal. I got to call him when I get off here. 219-885-9693. Make sure you call him. Let's hear from you. Detective John back on the line gets through. If you get through, like I said, everybody gets 6 minutes. And there's no amount of times that anybody can get through. If you get through, I answer. It is what it is. What's up, Detective John? 6 minutes on the line.
Dang, I got lucky. Rolled the dice.
You got right through. You were the only one calling too.
I wanted to I noticed with AT's affidavit here. She keeps mentioning, and if you can, I don't know if you can pull it up or not, T-REV, but she mentions facial recognition. She's trying to fight facial recognition. We need to all think about that. So there you go. You got a doorbell camera right there, a door camera. If it caught that car and it caught a visual of the person in the car, she's putting that in there because she knows that they had facial recognition from something, whether it be a traffic light or one of these types. They have used facial recognition. I believe, this is my theory, that's why she's putting it in there. So she's basically laying the foundation for them to fight some kind of technology that they used for the facial recognition. So if you can go back to whatever when you get a chance, even when I hang up, and find where she's talking about that, there's a reason for that, everybody. And I believe that has because one of these cameras caught the car, and they've determined that technology that's in the car. Nobody's caught that. I don't believe I've heard it anywhere, but that's what I talked about it the other day about the Department of Transportation cameras and intersection cameras. They also have a lot of departments on major intersections. They have their cameras going all the time, and they're monitoring traffic, so they can actually sit in there and control that traffic light inside a building if there's backup. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because it's something that I think she's laying the foundation of the fight, because it's evidence that we're not seeing. Remember, we have a gag order. She knows what all the evidence is. We don't know anything. We know nothing.
And which facial recognition are you talking about?
There's technology now. Like when you walk into read a lot of retail stores, a lot of them have facial recognition because you go on a list if you've been caught in there before, and then their loss prevention can say, hey, you know, we got T-REV in the store. He came in here and stole a bunch of prophylactics. But he came to the store and it, it'll flag him. Now, law enforcement has facial recognition, especially the FBI, where they can take a video and they can input the video of the person's face, and then it'll pull up a database. And if they have a picture of
Angel Girl has a question here. The blood expert they are bringing in has written books. Why bring her into the case if they say there is no blood?
Who's bringing in? Defense or prosecution?
Defense.
Defense is bringing in blood experts. Where did that come from? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Angel Girl just said that in chat.
Oh, Angel. Hey, Angel Girl. But where did it come from? Where did that information come from that they're bringing in? Is it something I didn't see?
Nah, it's been put out.
No, I didn't see that. If they found blood, yeah, they'll bring blood experts in. But it may be blood splatter experts that they're referring to. There's going to be blood splatter all over the areas where he committed the homicides. Every time you plunge a knife in and out, blood is going to come off of the knife. It's going to fly up to maybe even the ceiling. Depends on the velocity of the thrust that he was plunging in, pulling out. I don't know. I'm just picturing a guy on top of these two girls in bed, just flailing back and forth. He's got to handle two girls, and it only takes one. Remember, everybody, and I've said this before, and a lot of people have. It's a 9-inch K-bar knife. You only got to stab somebody once, and they're pretty much done. So it's pretty easy for him to incapacitate these two girls. But I think that we've only seen, in my opinion, maybe 10% of the evidence that we know of. There's going to be more evidence, and a lot of it's going to be video evidence of him in the car, I believe, and that's why the facial recognition challenge foundation is being laid by her here, because she knows that's going to be huge. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize that there's little things in this house, this document that a lot of people won't pick up on. I picked up on that. Why are they talking about facial recognition? So basically, Havnak found this picture of him in the car. Mm-hmm. They'll take that, and Jeff is he's great at doing this stuff. They'll take this picture, and they'll take the picture from the car. They'll use technology which works on lines and slants and your nose size and your ears and the measurements from your ears to the bottom of your jaw, the top of your jawline, the radius of your chin, your nose, everything, and they can pretty much say, hey, you like in the car, and they can actually simulate that exact angle and basically lay it on top of each other like you've done. Jeff can attest to that, and you take one picture and put it on top of the other, like, damn, that's and find us.
You're breaking up so bad, man. You're breaking up the whole call, damn near.
And forensics, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
and forensics, when they find a skull, you know, they do something similar, and they'll take a picture and they'll build up and they'll do measurements. But did you get the part about me talking about facial recognition? Is that out there? Because I wanted to put it out there. And why? I think that they have a picture of him in the car, and they're using facial recognition technology to determine that that was him, and it's in evidence, and that's why she's talking about facial recognition and the one who challenged the technology. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I don't care who it is, Mod, being all ignorance. I don't get if it ain't love and light or respectfully disagreeing. If it's some crazy ass ignorant comment, shit can them, hide them, and I'm not unhiding nobody either. I don't care who it is. If they're being ignorant, get rid of them. We're done with the ignorance around here. Fuck that. I'm not playing none of that. Get rid of all the ignorant. If people want to be ignorant, send them out. Quantity over quality.
Haters.
Right? They say quantity over quality most of the time, right? But it's quality over quantity around here. We're going to keep it that way.
Absolutely.
If people want to be ignorant, send them out. I don't care who it is. There's a lot of people that show genuine love and have good arguments in chat, but if it's ignorant, send them out. Like I said, we don't want quantity over quality. We want quality over quantity.
And you know what, T-REV, if I could say one thing, the haters out there, they don't bother me, man. I don't want people to think that anybody saying anything bad about me bothers me. It doesn't bother me at all.
No. It wasn't even nobody saying nothing bad about you. It's just complete ignorance I see being thrown around. It's like,
right,
do that shit somewhere else.
But the only thing that bothers me is just the mindset of a lot of people. You know,
it is what it is. It's 2023, Detective John. This has been an ignorant mindset shit that's been going on YouTube ever since I've seen YouTube. So I mean,
yeah, you know what? I'm ignorant to it, man, because I'm not. I'm not. And you were the first experience you had here at internet.
You're breaking up so bad.
I've never had the experience before coming to your show on you ever. So this is my, it's opened my eyes. You know, I was ignorant to the fact that there's so many people out there that feel the way they feel. I knew it was rampant, but not this bad. And it's just kind of opened my eyes.
But I told you that on the stream the other day. I said, bro, there's so many people on YouTube.
You sent me a long message and was telling me, and it's just, it's kind of just a reality check for me, and it just hit me in the face, and I feel bad. And you know what, the haters out there, the reason why they hate so much, bro, and I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not touting myself or anything, but no one's got anybody like me out there that's challenging them. You brought me on the show, it was just on a whim, and it turned out, I'm a guest, and I can bring a perspective and challenge things, and the others hate it, man. They freaking hate it. So bottom line is, that's the way I feel, and as long as you keep doing what you're doing, bro, I mean, it's gonna be cool. I mean, everything will be good.
Yeah, we're rocking, bro. You already know.
I'm out here for everybody, man. If anybody wants me to come on, you call me, and if I come on, I'll come on.
No doubt. I appreciate it.
I would love to one day have a day where it's just me and you out there talking to people. We'll pick a day. You make it happen. I'll do it.
No doubt. I'm gonna take this call. I appreciate it. I'm gonna hit you up in a little bit.
All right, bro. Bye.
All right, brother. 740. What's going on? You're live.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am okay. I want to call in because I want to take a different approach here. I'm coming from a neutral zone. Like, I am totally not decided on this case, and I know that you have a lot of really passionate, younger crowd, which is awesome. To me, it's fantastic that people care and that they're paying attention. And I just want to point out, though, that in the last 50 years of death row inmates, there are 190 inmates released found guilty and put on death row. lot of people, and we just need to make sure that we're open to hearing everything. There's no reason to be like offended by someone else's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If you're open to it, then you have all people being wrongfully convicted. 21 of those 190 people were DNA. The other ones were just wrong guy, just wrong eyewitness, or, I'm not anti-cop, but there are bad cops, there are bad teachers and everything else, so we have to always keep in mind that this is someone's son. I feel bad for all the parents. I mean, I have kids around that age, and I can't even imagine if I Mrs. Coburg. You would never anything like this.
I think you got bad. I can't hear you. You're breaking up on me.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. That's
okay.
Perfect.
It's just, I just feel like you have to remember someone, and if this was, of course, a brother, cute, it is possible that they're not the guy. So we just have to try to remember to listen to everything. Just take it all in. And, I do want to point out that in Moscow, there is a history of cat mutilations going back years. I mean, somebody has been growing up in that town, killing animals, which kind of makes me think serial killer. I mean, that person grew up around there because, it's been going on for years. They're talking like 50 cats. Like, it's not. I mean, you can look it up. It's really disturbing to me that, Buddy didn't seem to give too much concern about that dog. And, he could be the clue to something. There could be somebody that's not right in the head around there. And, I hope they have the right people, because if it was my kid, man, I can't even stop and think about that. It's just, I just want the right person punished. And if we can all just listen to everything and not fight, because the media wants everybody to fight. They want you to fight with another channel because they know that you guys are making a big difference. You have a lot of people tuning in, and that makes them nervous that we don't need, CNN, and we don't need this people that we'd rather turn to. So we have to make sure that we remember that, because they want us to divide. That's why they come up with these little terms where they, make fun of, like, calling people internet sleuths and things. It's disrespectful, and it's done on purpose. But you make a big difference to a lot of people. You can tell by all the people in your chat and watching your show. So just keep up what you're doing, and I think you should be really proud of yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in. This is now. What do you think after those documents that dropped on Friday? What was your thoughts on that particular?
Well, honestly, I was impressed. I didn't think that it was poorly written. I didn't think anything was really unprofessional. I think that, I would hope to have a public defense that was defending me that way. It's really not that common to see that. So, everything, yes, we're gonna hear little bits of words that are gonna be, able to be tweaked here and there, like placed. Everyone's focusing on placed.
You there?
Be no blood on that sheath. Like, she had that giant coat on when she was at the food truck. What if she picked the coat up while, she was cold at the bar, and it's somebody else's coat? And, maybe the sheath was in the pocket. There are possible scenarios. So I'm open to hear all of it. I just want to hear facts. and then hope that, everybody can keep their mind up. And it's kind of like, if you meet somebody that doesn't like pit bulls, they're going to look right at you and they're going to say, pit bulls are vicious and their jaws lock. That is not true. That.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, it's like you have to actually listen to facts. I mean, I can't tell you how many people say that all the time. That their jaws do not physically lock. They just choose to grab and hold. So it's just like everybody has to be really careful to hear it all the way through. And just the documents, honestly, it concerns me that they found those samples of DNA that are not identified, because when they were clearing people, they would take samples. So they already know that's not anyone that they took samples from. That's why it's unknown. They know it's not a forensics person. They know it's not a cop. If they're doing their job correctly, they would have already known that those people should be cleared and it's not their DNA that they left. So these are two people that they have not tested. That's a problem. And I want to know more about that.
No doubt about that. I mentioned that on that last stream too. I was like, man, what about these? They need to be cleared if they weren't, because it seems like they're talking in the verbiage of, those were unknown, right? I mean, that's what it came out to me.
Yeah, and I think some people think that means it's unknown, like they didn't even test it. They tested it. They ran it. They made a profile. It just doesn't match up with anybody that they've already collected.
That's what I got from it. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, for sure. That's the way that I interpret that.
Same way I did too. I was like, man, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
like, that's crazy. They need to be, in a case like this, you gotta clear any type of misplaced DNA that's in a how can I put this, in like a suspect spot, or if you found something that looks out of place, then that needs to be cleared. In my wholehearted opinion, I mean, that's just the way the justice system works in general, especially when it comes to investigating a murder in general, but a murder to this magnitude, you gotta really do a thorough all the way around. And maybe they did find out who these DNA profiles were, and somehow the defense hasn't seen it. I don't know.
If they did, I don't know why they would be afraid to give them everything they have. Facts are facts, man. If you have evidence, it's not going to change just because the defense saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody should have everything.
Right.
You can't change truth. Truth is truth. But if you're not going to get justice, you're not going to really get justice if it isn't true. I don't want to have a doubt who it is. I want those parents to know we got the guy. And
that's a fact.
There's just more that needs to be said from this, I mean, and if, like Detective John said, there's probably 10% of the evidence out, well, then I don't know how we've made up our mind yet. We should probably all just, try to take a deep breath and take it all in before we really, truly decide.
No doubt. Well, I appreciate you calling. I'm going to get some more people to call in this minute.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Everybody have a wonderful day from Ohio.
You too. Shout out to you. A lot of Ohio in the building today. Shout out to you.
I know.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
God bless
you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Shout out to her. Jeff sent this in. Let's see. Could all of this have been thrown into a bucket and into the trunk? All DNA ends up in the bucket, minimal in the car. Huh. Let's see. I see what you're saying, Jeff. This is a picture Jeff made, by the way. This is a picture Jeff made, by the way. I see you, Jeff. I see you, Jeff. That's some funny shit. Capital. Raise that time up 20 minutes. The trolls though, like, waiting, baby. I love it. You know, you be seeing the numbers dip back up because them trolls are checking to wait on that 20 minutes to get one comment through so they can get smoked like a cigarette. I love it. Ignore ignorance. Love and light, baby. Love and light is only allowed. Anyways, 219-885-9693. Make sure you call in. Cool pick. Yeah, Jeff comes up with some dope shit. It's true. I know. I'm not stupid. They're checking. They come back to check to see if that 20 minutes is up so they can try to uppercut somebody's head like I'm stupid. I ain't dumb. Get out of here. Get out of here. 219, what's on your mind? 219, can you hear me? 815, you're live. What's going on? $815, can you hear me? Anyways, 219-885-9693. Make sure you call in. Say hi to the trolls. Love and light. I already know. I'm not stupid. I know what's up. I'm smoking every troll I see today. I watch chat constantly. So every time I see a troll, they're getting smoked. If it's missed by a mod, it ain't going to be missed by me. 405, you're live. What's up?
Hey, T-REV, it's Kim.
Kim, what's up?
Hey, I'm on lunch, so I just want you, I just emailed you the video. Go look in your email and just play it. It's so educational, and I just want you to see it.
I see the video right here. So first one on top says Brian Koberger not guilty. Defense drops the key new information in court documented. Attorney analyst. Now,
she's an active attorney right now in Washington.
My thing is, though, if I play this, am I going to catch a strike? Because I done got 2 strikes caught from other videos.
Oh, how come you can't play it? It's already posted on YouTube.
Some people strike you for their shit. But I played her before. I think she went to the...
Yeah, she's always on the Pascal show, always.
Didn't she go to the hearing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, she won't care. She didn't strike me like...
No, she won't. It's some good insight. And I just think you and the chat, I think it's just it's very informative, and it made me really look at things in a different eye, and I just think everybody else should watch it too. Mm-hmm. So play it if you can.
We can check it out.
Okay, that's all I needed to say.
I'll pull it up. It's 20 minutes. That ain't nothing.
Yeah, it's not that long, but I'm going to keep listening. I'm at work, so I'll just keep listening.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
I'm going to put it on right now.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Ken. Shout out to Ken. Let's check it out. It's from a defense, so let's check it out.
So I'm not normally one.
Let's check it out. I'm cool with checking it out. I have no problem checking it out. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
To go for these clickbaity bombshell types of takes, but I got to tell you guys, this latest revelation in the Brian Koberger case, this is a bombshell. We're going to talk about it.
Quick break.
So a whole bunch of new documents were uploaded to the Idaho Supreme Court's website that's set aside for this case, and included in those documents was this rather ambiguous, uninteresting looking objection to the state's motion for a protective order. Now, for context, what is going on here is there is a lot of litigation that is in process dealing with the state's discovery obligations. We've had this motion to compel that's scheduled for Tuesday. It's been pending for quite some time, but basically resulting from the defense making requests for certain information to be discovered that the state is resisting. And of course, as I've mentioned before, the most interesting one of those to me is the genetic genealogy information. We have come to learn that genetic genealogy was used in this case, but we don't yet have much of a picture of when it was used, how it was used, what role that played in the investigation as a whole. Did it confirm suspicion of Koberger, or did it identify suspicion of Koberger? So these are really important questions to be asking as we're evaluating how suspicion against him unfolded in the first place. And the state has been very adamantly resisting these requests for information. They don't want to turn over any of this genetic genealogy information. So that's what's led to this motion to compel, and subsequently the state, I think, recognizing that, well, there is a chance that this is going to have to be turned over, is also asking for a protective order, basically to, not require them to have to provide it. So this objection is filed in response to that request by the state. And in it, we obtained some really important new information about the state of this investigation. Although I don't normally like to just read straight through legal documents, it's boring, and I kind of prefer to just summarize and give you my take on it. In this particular case, this is a short summary. It's extremely well written, gets right to the point. So I'm just going to go ahead and share it with you. On November 13th, 2022, law enforcement responding to a 911 call found Madison Mogan, Kaylee Consalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin deceased. Law enforcement later found a K-bar knife sheath placed next to Ms. Mogan on her bed. The sheath was placed button side down and partially under Ms. Mogan and the comforter. On November 20th, 2022, the Idaho State Police Lab in Meridian, Idaho, located DNA on the button of the sheath and performed STR analysis that led nowhere when ran through CODIS, the Combined DNA Index System, other than to show the provider was a male. By December 17, 2022, lab analysts were aware of 2 additional males' DNA within the house where the deceased were located, and another unknown male DNA on a glove found outside the residence on November 20th, 2022. To this date, the defense is unaware of what sort of testing, if any, was conducted on these samples other than the STR DNA profiles. Further, these 3 separate and distinct male DNA profiles were not identified through CODIS, leading to the conclusion that the profiles do not belong to Mr. Kohberger. While this was ongoing, police were investigating many various possible suspects. Many of them provided DNA. At least one had his DNA surreptitiously taken from a discarded cigarette. Many also had their phones taken and downloaded. One area of the investigation had to do with a white sedan seen on a camera located at 1112 King Road, first glimpsed by officers on November 18, 2022. By November 25, 2022, police believed the car to be a white Elantra and asked law enforcement to be on the lookout for one. Precisely how the police came to believe the car was an Elantra is still unknown. A report from an analyst for the FBI dated March 21, 2023 shows the analyst relying heavily on a video of a car heading in the wrong direction and at the wrong time on Ridge Road. The state's latest filing admits that somewhere within all of this, they engaged in investigative genetic genealogy using the DNA taken from the button on the sheath, and now claims that it was due to the use of this technique that it tipped local law enforcement to investigate Mr. Kohberger. It remains unclear what the police first relied on in focusing their investigation on Mr. Kohberger. No matter what came first, the car or the genetic genealogy, the investigation has provided precious little. There is no connection between Mr. Kohberger and the victims. There is no explanation for the total lack of DNA evidence from the victims in Mr. Kohberger's apartment, office, home, or vehicle. In essence, through the lack of disclosure and their motion to protect the genetic genealogy investigation, the state is hiding its entire case. So we learned a lot in this very short 1.5 page summary of the facts here, but the key point, the big bombshell that jumps out at me here is in this second to last statement. There is no explanation for the total lack of DNA evidence from the victims in Mr. Kohberger's apartment, office, home, or vehicle. They found no trace DNA in his car. Guys, I got to tell you, this is a big one. Now, I'm already expecting there's going to be a lot of absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. And that's a perfectly legitimate, logical proposition. But the problem is that when you are dealing with a circumstantial case, part of the strength of the inference that can be drawn from the evidence depends on it being inconsistent with alternative explanations. A lot of times when I'm doing jury selection with a jury and we're talking about the reasonable doubt standard and kind of what that means and how you apply that and stuff like that, I will propose as a.
By the way, I'm getting word that the Latah County prosecutors about to counter the Brian Kohberger defense back. So breaking news coming in. The prosecution plans to announce within the next 24 hours that they are seeking the death penalty against Brian Kohberger. By the way, coming in, multiple sources on Twitter, multiple sources all over. Again, like I said, breaking news. I'm hearing the prosecution plans to announce within the next 24 hours that they are seeking the death penalty against Brian Christopher Kohberger. Just letting you guys know in chat. That's breaking news coming out of Moscow. They are planning on that. This is, like I said, allegedly, but multiple sources. And as I'm looking and listening to this video, I'm on my second monitor checking, and I see multiple sources, including about 5 or 6 different people, and they have that reach to get information. They're saying, like I said again, listen, verbatim, that they plan on seeking the death penalty against Brian Kohberger.
Working way of understanding how to go about that is, look, if there's a reasonable alternative explanation for a set of circumstances, then you haven't been convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that the state's explanation is the only one that can be true. So being able to draw an inference from a sample of DNA, at this point we understand, believe to be touch DNA on this button of a knife sheath, the strength of the inference to be able to conclude that that identifies the killer, the person who wielded a murder weapon and committed these murders.
And if you just came in, breaking news coming from sources that in the next 24 hours they plan on letting everybody know that they're going for the death penalty against Brian Christopher Kohberger. Now, there also will be responding to the documents, multiple sources. Now, if that don't happen, I don't know, but if multiple sources are putting that out, interesting.
Is only so strong as the ability of the surrounding circumstances to confirm that inference. And so the problem is, absence of evidence kind of can be evidence when you would expect that evidence to be present under the circumstances, if that would be the reasonable situation given everything else that we know about this case. And given what we know about this case, 4 people were brutally stabbed in an extremely short period of time. This was a messy crime scene. The likelihood of being able to, commit all of these crimes,
yes, ma'am,
not leave your own DNA all over the scene, not trace any of the DNA that you are, sorry to be crude here, but kind of waiting in all likelihood, to not track that out to your car, not leave it on your car seats, not have it seep into the carpet, not be tracking it back into your home. This just is not a real highly probable sequence of events. You have to explain, how could this person be so careful to take care of all of these loose ends, but yet be so careless as to just happen to leave that little bit of touch DNA on the button of the knife sheath? So this is not a good development for the state's case at all. I remember when the probable cause affidavit was first released, surely there were mixed reactions to it. But my personal reaction was, there's something there. It's not the strongest case I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination, but
I agree.
Okay, I'd buy that the circumstantial link here to.
So I mean, they're about to make me eat my statements of, man, who are these other profiles? Maybe they already, and I already suggested this live, and I think, well, maybe they already know those profiles of DNA, the unknown that the defense is talking about, and maybe that's what they're hiding from him. To say, well, you know, we actually know this is this person and that person. This is that. I mean, maybe it is that, right? But I don't know that to be true. I'm speculating, but it's a battle. I'm telling you, they are boxing right now, and for that to come out, break big news to be coming out of Idaho within the next 24 hours that they are to seek the death penalty against Mr. Kohlberger. Breaking. I'm hearing the prosecution plans to announce within the next 24 hours that they are seeking the death penalty against Brian Kohlberger. That's huge to me. That's huge to me. Multiple sources, I say. You can go look around and find it yourself. Wow. A lot of people are saying tomorrow is a big day
to suggest that it's Brian Kohlberger. But the real meat of the investigation was at that point only just going to begin. Now that they had the suspect, they're going to go seize his computer, seize his cell phones, go over this car with a fine-tooth comb, and if there is anything there for them to find, it's gonna wrap him up. That's just going to be such good corroboration that that's where the real meat of the state's case was going to need to come from. Well, what we learned in this page and a half here is that they haven't gotten any of that. Okay, not just the no DNA of the victims that got tracked back anywhere, but also no connection between Mr. Kohlberger and the victims. Guys, this sounds a lot like they found nothing on his devices. They didn't find anything on his cell phone or on his tower that show that he was stalking these people, getting into their social media, had any knowledge or connection with them whatsoever. So that's another big, huge piece of the puzzle that's missing here, because we don't know how or why he would have identified these people. What possible?
Yeah, but see, and I'm sorry for pausing, but I want to commentate on that a little bit. And I like what you just said. Tactic prosecution is like, you doubt our case, do your death penalty. It swayed me for a minute. Be nice to me. Now, I'm not mad at you, because it had me thinking. What did I say on panel the other day when we pulled up these documents and we're reading through them and those profiles were mentioned? Well, they had to clear them and this, that, and the third. Well, allegedly they have the answer to that.
Steps could he have taken to
Kel,
identify them, locate them, surveil them, plan this attack, go through with the attack, cover up the attack, and just leave no trace of any connection with them at all? That's just very challenging. So what they have, of course, is this circumstantial evidence of his location that is largely created through this ping evidence on his cell phone. But again, the problem with there is, by their own acknowledgement in the probable cause affidavit, it's not a reliable indicator for where he is. They say themselves his phone is pinged off of these towers at times when they have reason to believe he wasn't actually present there. So that doesn't exactly give them a real solid basis to be able to draw inferences about what he was doing at what point, to kind of further solidify this connection that they are trying to build between him and these murders. I want to real quickly talk about some objections that I'm anticipating we will see to my take here, which is that, wow, this is kind of revealing that the state's case is massively falling apart here. Number one, well, he cleaned the car, right? We heard these reports around the time of his arrest, anonymously sourced, of course, that he had been seen out, scrupulously cleaning his car. The problem with that theory is that there is going to be evidence of that. And as this statement is written, it's not just that there isn't DNA, no DNA evidence in the car, it's that there's no explanation for it. So cleaning is typically going to leave some type of evidence. You're going to see that, like, oh, the carpet on the floorboard has been peeled back here because, you would need to be able to get in and clean under that. Blood will seep through, it will leave a residue that can be located. So you'd have to, essentially take most of the car apart to be able to get to that. That's going to leave some type of trace that doesn't appear to be the case here. Likewise, cleaning chemicals. If you're just out there, with a wet rag trying to wipe this stuff up, you're not going to get it all. There's going to be trace there. So it's likely that somebody who is trying to cover up the existence of evidence like this, they're going to use something. They're going to use bleach. They're going to use ammonia. They're going to use some type of chemical to try to destroy any DNA that would remain. That as well is going to leave residual traces. They're going to be able to say, well, we didn't find any DNA, but we sure found a whole lot of bleach residue. That would be circumstantial evidence of consciousness of guilt. So I would expect that the state would be raising that if that's the case. And then the last thing that often comes up in situations like these is you can literally actually see like white marks, okay? When somebody is in there with, again, the wet rag and, just kind of smearing stuff around, no matter how hard you try to like dry it up and polish it and stuff, chances are pretty good that you're not going to get all of the grime and everything out of a, 8-year-old car that has like sifted through the carpet for all that time and stuff like that. You're not going to get it pristine. And so what's left is going to show marks from having, wiped something over it, or smears and stuff like that. It's very common to find. That would again be an explanation for why there is no DNA evidence found in the car. But apparently that doesn't exist based on this representation that we're getting in this sentence here. Another objection I expect to see.
Is that why they put that out? Is this why they put that out? They know that death penalty's coming? What do you guys think about that? I'm just curious. Do you think the defense put this out Friday to try to strengthen the masses because they know this death penalty case is coming? What's your thoughts on that? Of course, I'm gonna open the lines back up after this, and I want to hear from some more people.
This is just the defense's version of things. Everybody lies except the FBI defense. Well, I don't buy this for a lot of reasons. Now, certainly, when you're a defense lawyer, you are going to present the facts in the way that is beneficial to your client, beneficial to your position. So you kind of expect there to be a little bit of polemic, a little bit of painting things in a light that is just favorable to your client. And Mr. Logsdon in particular has something of an aggressive style with his writing. I actually like it a lot. I find it very direct, to the point. You don't have any trouble understanding where he stands on something. At the last hearing, the gag order hearing, I actually ran into Mr. Logsdon in the hall after the fact and told him I enjoyed and appreciated his writing style. So, yeah, there is a.
So also another one of these sources put out, me and the Latah County prosecutor Bill Thompson kind of have this love-hate relationship going on when it comes to the Brian Koberger case. And states, another person states, yep, prosecution, I just got word prosecution is planning within the next 24 hours on the death penalty. Another person, another source. Damn. What's going on out here?
Certain amount of, I suppose, flexibility that maybe you should expect when you're reading an argument from the defense counsel. But of course, as we heard, the defense counsel has a duty of candor to the court. You are not well served by misrepresenting the situation to the court, because they're going to find out. This would be a very stupid position to sort of make up out of the blue, because the state is going to be able to come in and correct that and point out to the court, here is the evidence that we have of DNA in the vehicle. Here is the evidence we have of.
By the way, thank you, Lupo, Nina. I don't know why it doesn't show on my end over here, but it shows on the actual YouTube chat. But I appreciate you. Thank you. I see you get the 5. Thank you for the support to the channel, everybody. Everybody who's here, I appreciate you guys. Now, I do want to hear from you on what you think about these sources coming out saying that within the next 24 hours, they plan on announcing this death penalty. We're going to see how true it is. I mean, these sources saying this, I mean, I've seen them say shit before. I'm trying to think back to the last thing they said was going to happen, and then it happened. So we had we heard talks about Bethany, and then all of a sudden it was exculpatory evidence about Bethany that came out, alleged exculpatory, right? And then that came out. What else? I'm trying to think. There's just been so many different things in this case.
Why there's no DNA in the vehicle. So this is incorrect. And now, Mr. Logston's credibility as an advocate to the court is completely shot because he made the stupid decision to overstate his case. Because of that, I tend to find this pretty reliable. You don't take a hard position as an experienced criminal defense attorney unless you're able to back it up. So I don't know if we're going to get a written reply from the state before this whole thing goes into the hearing on Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to keep an eye out on it.
I've seen them before.
But certainly, if you hadn't guessed, yeah, I'm going to be there Tuesday afternoon. Was planning on it anyway, but I very much am going to need to see this argument and how this all goes down.
Who said you can't have an opinion, sweetie? OCD, nobody, I haven't seen nobody tell you couldn't have an opinion. Did I miss something? If I did, let me know. I think she's a dope. In my opinion, am I not allowed to have one anymore? What's happened to free speech? What? No, ignorance, shit talk, ignorance. If I see ignorance and shit talk, I mean, I ice it, but I haven't seen that from you, OCD. So if there was something that I missed, let me know. I haven't seen that from you. I see all your comments. So what happened? Hopefully you're good. With no DNA in the car, they are not going to get 12 people to put this man to death, Jeremy says. I mean, that's a good point, too.
With my own two eyes. So another possibility there that Mr. Thompson
you waited for the 20
just
minutes,
be
now you
prepared
got
to argue orally why he thinks this characterization maybe is too strong or maybe is inaccurate. But if he doesn't do that, well, then that is kind of what in the law you call an adoptive admission, a situation where you would expect somebody to deny it if that weren't the case. So going to be very interesting to see how Mr. Thompson responds to this allegation in the coming days. This is probably the most critical new information that has come to light in this case since the gag order was initially entered. The fact that there's other DNA, male DNA, found at the scene that can't be accounted for, and the fact that there's no other link, none, besides what we've already seen in the probable cause affidavit that links Mr. Koberger with these victims. None of his DNA on them, none of their DNA anywhere we would expect it to be with this type of a crime. This is huge information, and it really indicates that the state's case is kind of falling apart here. Not only do we just have the basic evidence that was in the probable cause affidavit all the way back at day one, but we're also seeing that PC affidavit itself is kind of starting to crumble. We've got concerns now about additional investigative steps that may or may not have been taken, problems with how the car was identified. We already knew there was going to be, a hitch in the road with that disclaimer in the search warrant affidavit in Whitman County. I'm not going to let that one go, guys. The whole, we're disclosing this DNA evidence for the court's information, but specifically asking you not to rely on it. There is no legal reason to do that unless you have a concern of illegal activity. You can rely on information that's wrong or evidence that's bad that just happens, you relied on it in good faith, but it just turns out to be incorrect. Police do that all the time. That will still authorize a search. It won't invalidate it. Illegal activity is what invalidates a search warrant. So still more little things that are kind of lurking in the wings, waiting to pop up and potentially cause problems for the narrative that is out here that Brian Koberger is obviously guilty. It must be him. There's a very strong case, and so on and so forth. And so in light of how significant this new information is, I think it's going to be really critical to see in the coming days who in the media reports it and how do they report it? How honestly are they going to be in incorporating this new bit of information into their analysis of the case. I think that's going to tell us a lot about what is really driving the media focus here, an interest in justice or a narrative that's already been predetermined. So I'm going to be watching. Guys, I'm also going to be in court on Tuesday to watch this hearing. No way I'm going to miss it at this point. So I'll be back to let you know kind of what I take away from that process, and continuing to.
And there that is. You have that. That was the video. Thank you, Kim, for recommending it. If anybody wants to call in, 219-885-9693. Breaking news coming through from multiple sources, by the way. Once again, I'll say it again. They are saying that they're going for the death penalty. So it's coming. It's being spread. Multiple sources now. Multiple sources all over the place. The prosecution plans to announce within the next 24 hours they are seeking the death penalty against Brian Christopher Kohberger. Multiple sources report. Latah County prosecutors about to counter the Brian Kohberger defense and clap back. Multiple sources reporting that. 219-885-9693. What's your thoughts? Make sure you call in. Shit is getting crazy out here. And this is about justice for the victims. $757 sent from heaven. What's going on? You're live.
It's Don again.
What's going on, Donna? The birthday girl.
Listen. Okay. This is my thought about this DNA stuff. They,
Hold on, before you say it, I want to restart your time. I'm not even going to clip it and start it yet. Are you seeing all the sources come out talking about the rebuttal that the prosecutors are about to have? That they're planning to announce the death penalty, etc. Per sources out there.
Yes.
Okay, shit's getting crazy.
But see, the thing is with that is, I think part of the problem is, yes, the DNA was there. It was proven to be there. It was proven to be connected to his father at 99 point whatever. Okay, it was there. How it got there, who the hell knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just leave it at that. Okay, what else? That's not enough to even be there, okay? So for them to go after the death penalty, there's got to be some hardcore. They've got to have something. They've got to have something huge that they got to present, but they're just not putting it out there yet. They're not obligated to put it out there yet. I mean, we as the community are like, oh, they got to at least let us know. No, they don't. Because that could be the one thing that keeps them there. So I'm not. I'm thinking everybody's focusing on DNA, but what about, could they have something else?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it have to be blood? Why, I mean.
What if it's a license plate on a camera by the house?
It could be anything.
We don't know. And that's speculation on my part, so please don't take that and run with it. Not you. I'm talking to chat in general. I'm just saying it could be something like that. I have no idea.
But see, in my mind, it's like, okay, we got DNA. We keep talking about DNA. Okay, put the DNA aside. What else could it be? What else could it possibly be? I mean, if it was semen, there's DNA there.
Thank you, Alice. Yeah.
It could have been. It could have been anything. I mean, I'm thinking, what else besides DNA could really put him in that, connect him to that house and to one of those victims? To me, if it's not the DNA, it's some kind of data. It's either stalking behavior that's caught on texts, messaging. They're saying, oh, they didn't get anything on his computer. They didn't get anything on his phone. How do you know that? How do you know that? They're not disclosing that. I have not seen where they disclosed that. Have you?
Mm-mm.
Somewhere in those multiple terabytes of information, they're not even done going through all that crap. No way possible. But there is a connection to Brian to somebody in that house, whether living or dead. There is somebody connected to him. and there is something that they're holding close to the vest that they're not going to disclose. Because, I mean, this DNA, okay, if the DNA is so small and minuscule and they can't test it and all that stuff, okay, what else is it? You know, we're focusing on that. But really, if you take that out of the equation, what else could possibly, knowing cases and seeing other cases, what else could it be? What else could it possibly be that they could have on this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not just sitting in jail for nothing. He didn't go before a grand jury didn't indict him for nothing. They don't do that.
Right.
There is something there, you know, and I don't think it's DNA related. I mean, granted, if he cut himself during this killing and stuff, there may be blood transfer. Who knows? But I just think there's something else, has nothing to do with the DNA, that's got him in a corner. And I think that's why he's getting all these expensive attorneys, and I think that's why they're requesting all this crap. But there is, I mean, I personally am gonna back out of the DNA stuff and try to venture down a different rabbit hole, because
I gotta ask you, I'm gonna pause 1 minute 55 seconds. I'm pausing. Now, there was also came out today that Judge John Judge issued a order making it clear that the victims' families are allowed to speak with media anytime they want to.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
I did see that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, you know, but I think he probably put some restrictions on that. I don't think it's just openly and widely speaking. I think he's allowing them to release a little bit of extra, you know, to speak to the media. But I think that there's restrictions on what they can and cannot say. I don't think he's just going to let them go hog wild. That'd be crazy. So, you know, if they want to talk about their children, they want to talk about, you know, the last minutes of their lives, or I don't know what they would talk about, you know, because I've never, God forbid, I ever have to go through that. But, you know, I don't know I want to know what he's allowed them to disclose.
Right.
Because just because he said that doesn't mean he's giving them full reign just to go hog wild, especially if they know everything, you know. Because I find it hard to believe that the families don't know what happened. They know the details. They've got to know them. You know, if someone's child gets murdered, they're going to tell them what happened. They're not. I mean, they may not go into full detail, but there's going to be some explanation of what caused their death. You know, they're not just going to say, "Oh, she was stabbed in the chest. That's it. That's it." You know? No, I don't believe that either. I think that's why Steve is like gnawing at the bits, because he knows stuff, and he's having to withhold talking. So I'm just thinking maybe the judge loosened the gag enough to allow some stuff to come out that's not detrimental to the case. You know, feed the birds. You know, feed the thing. You know, I think that's basically what it is. Just give a little information. But anyway, those are just my thoughts.
You know, I
Thank
appreciate
you
you
for letting me
sharing
back
them.
on.
Birthday girl.
You're funny. Yeah, you wait till you get 59 and you see how birthdays are. 59 is like, oh my God, I'm my grandmother.
It's all right.
You're young.
You don't sound 59, so.
Oh, I don't feel 59 either. All right, brother.
All right, Donna. We love you. Happy birthday to you, and thank you for calling back in. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
God bless. Shout out to Donna for calling in. We appreciate her. Like I said, breaking news per sources coming in out of Idaho within the next 24 hours. Sources are saying that they are going to announce the death penalty in the Bryant case. 978. What's going on? You're live.
Hey, T-REV. It's Anita, Boston.
Anita, what's going on? You're live.
Hey, my birthday was yesterday too.
Well, happy birthday. Happy belated.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad they're putting the death penalty out there. If he did it, I'm thrilled, you know. And I just wanted to say, you do such a good job. You got a lot of patience, and I know I called a couple of times. I might have sounded stupid, but that's the way it is. But listen, of course, like what he shouldn't. Why is his fingerprints in there anyway? I mean, I don't understand that what's going on. I probably missed half of it, but I think he did it. I'm still standing on that, and I'm glad that if the death penalty was they're gonna look for that, because I think he deserves it if he did it. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's it's just I don't know. If they got that 51 terabytes that they got to go through, they ain't telling us everything. It's like all this little shit that gets put out there. Like, I don't even understand it. How they, people are saying, that he what's his only his fingerprints weren't there, or some other unknown suspect or whatever. Of course, that's a party house. I mean, at that age, I would have been partying at that house. I mean, they had so many people there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember stating that a lot. That house is like a DNA cesspool. I mean, as far as all the people I've seen there on video, just from video. I mean, and of course they're college kids. They're gonna have people over. They're gonna have a couple drinks and hang out and listen to music. I mean, that's just what goes on.
Yeah, and I mean, some of them, you only, your fingerprints are only in the data if you did a crime usually. So a lot of those college kids, so the unknown fingerprints or whatever, of course, it's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense to say, like, oh, that's gonna be Brian's like defense, like, oh, he wasn't there or whatever. He's a piece of shit, and he just I just don't I'm just happy that if he did it, I'm happy that the death penalty's there, because I think the parents, especially Steve, I think he wants to tear him. There's a difference from scratching your ass and tearing it apart. So, I mean, I think I just pray for them people. That they. I just don't understand how someone could do that. I really don't. It breaks my heart.
Yes, ma'am.
But I just wanted to call. I have been trying, and I apologize. Like I said, I'm sorry if I was bothering you or anything. But I just wanted to just let you know how I felt about that. And I don't. We all don't have to agree with each other, but it's good to respect one another's opinion. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I really do want to thank you for being, the best creator.
Well, I appreciate that.
You are. I don't even creep in other places because I ain't going nowhere else. I stay here. Number one, you're the man. So I love you. I care about you. I hope you had a good day off with your wife and Sosa. And just wanted to let you know that. And I'm sorry if I didn't said anything stupid, because I did. I think one time I said something like, "Oh, I should do it. I could kill him." But yeah, no, I'm not gonna kill anybody. But
It's okay. It happens.
yeah, but thank you for listening. That's what I want to tell you too. You got a lot of patience, and you're kind-hearted, and you just don't take no shit. That's it. Like I don't know who's trolling, but I don't know what the fuck they're doing in here.
I mean,
But
it's YouTube. You're gonna have it. People are trolls, but I know how to put a stop to it. Make them wait for 20 minutes to make another account, come back in, get smoked again like a cigarette that they are. Then they'll just make another one after that, wait 20 minutes. Next, I'm going to make them wait 5 days.
Right.
I can make people wait 5 days. Be subscribed to the channel for 5 days before you can even enter a live chat. I mean, that might be my next move. Who knows?
Yeah.
Keep the trolls out. I want the kind-hearted people that we built from the jump to be around. Not people that are looking for darkness and constantly jump from account to account to account to account to badmouth people and just shit. You know what I mean? I want to focus on what the real goal is here, and that's justice for the victims and talking about the case in general, and that's what it's for. I mean, and also your guys' opinion. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of the trolls. We're on cleanup duty right now, and I'm gonna put a stop to it. It's easy.
Yeah,
It's easy.
the balls, so they take care of most of it, but you don't always catch all of them. You can't. There's always those sneaky ones. They change their names or whatever, and they come back in and they want. It's. I don't know. I don't get it, but that's what the trolls are. They're just, they need to fuck off and go away, but. That ain't gonna happen, I guess. But I'll let you go. But hey,
thank you, ma'am,
so much. I
thank
love you, and take care of yourself. Make sure you lock your doors, and I know you're holding, so I'm always happy to hear that. So
thank you, ma'am.
yeah, that's just my opinion. So I just wanted to let you know, and thank you for everything.
Thank
you. Good man.
God bless you. God bless you, Anita. I appreciate you calling up and being a voice in the community. And as long as you think I'm the best, I'm fine with that. That's one person, and that means the most. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been here since day one. So
yes, ma'am. I've talked to you a couple times.
Oh no, I'm always in here.
I'm always in here.
Yeah, it's just sometimes I'm late. I can't get into Discord. I've been trying almost a month now.
Email me. I'll show you how easy it is.
It keeps saying that I need my my email is already in there, and so I don't know. But
just if you email me, I'll show you, because it's actually fairly easy. But if you send me an email, I'll send you a video that is pretty self-explanatory, and when you do that, it'll work.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. Thank you. I'll let you go talk to someone else. But
yes, ma'am. God bless you.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
I'll email you.
Okay, thank you so much, and I'll be looking for it.
All right.
Okay.
Take care.
You have a good day. Lock your doors.
I will.
Thank you, man. Shout out to her. Beautiful phone call. Beautiful phone call. Gotta love it. Let me see what we got going on. 219-885-9693. Let's hear from somebody else again. Come on. No input from the defense, and this indictment was done without the defense's knowledge? Huh. Let's see. I remember her trying to get into Discord. I'll get her in there easily. Also, watch out for the ones that are trying to get people's channels down. My friend Brittany, they tried to do that to her and get her taken down the other day. They came in showing their privates. Yeah, that don't work. Nope. That's why I don't do open panels no more. Ain't nobody helicopter shaking their dick on stream. Actually, what time is it? 12:54. Excuse my language too, by the way, but that's what they've done before. In prior streams, they came up and were shaking their private part, their penis around on camera. So I had to limit the way that I do open panels because it's weird. We don't want that. That's nasty work, right? Nobody wants to see that. What are you doing? Going on to true crime, you're talking about cases and somebody comes up naked on the screen, which it's just real disturbing. This super disturbing. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate you. You said, somebody said, all callers T-REV, but I said, spoke on the phone before. I always thought that Brian Koberger was guilty and still do, but I also think that he had help in the murder, says Trina Young. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate you. T-REV, I emailed you the other day. Please read. Hold up. Maybe it's in spam. There is a lot of emails in spam. I got to check those out. Oh, my God. I missed that. Yeah, that happened during the Kylie Rodney case. A lot. Like on the streams, a lot. It happened a lot. Detective John, tell T-REV I said it's okay to give you an email. I don't think I could type it here. All right. Scene. Copy. Great caller. Nasty. Okay, you're making it look like you're making points, but when you get a sensible response, you're ignoring them. You obviously got an agenda, and this isn't the place for it. What? Who we talking about? A little bit confused on that one. Nobody got time for that. Chicks would. I'm done. Trevor's funny without it. Knowing he's funny, I find it very endearing. Your do not disturb is on, I believe, T. I know, because I'm about to actually head out. I'm going to go kick it with the trolls for a little bit, you know? I got to go smoke a few trolls. I'm about to go pick up this strain called, it's Troll OG, you know? You know what I mean, pal? I want to tell you I appreciate everybody that came by today and genuinely showed support to the channel, you know? I truly want to tell you I appreciate all of you. We're waiting on the prosecution to come out here and speak on this source breaking news that they're talking about, you know? Make sure you guys smash the like and subscribe button for my buddy T-REV. This is Papa Sal, by the way, you know? I want to give a shout out to the Rev Gang family. New York. Sammy the Bull. Anyways, guys, I love you. I'll see you on the next stream, you know? Thank you, DC, for the support to the channel. I appreciate it. I love you all.
Anyone who knew Kaylee would tell you the same thing. To know her was to love her. Her love for life and everyone in it was so inspiring. She made it a priority to make everyone feel so important and so loved.
There was never a day that she didn't want to race her brother because she was just determined that girls were faster than boys, or that she didn't want to go bug her little sisters.
Favorite memory for me was watching the game with her, and every time the Steelers scored, I'd pick her up and I'd hold her high in the air.
I didn't really realize that I was in love with Maddie until the summer of 2020. We went to McCall and just spent a lot of time on the water. We floated the river and just hung out every chance we got.
They went to other countries together. Karen took them to Hawaii together. We took them to Mexico together. They went to college together. They went to high school together. They lived in their own apartment together. They were sisters.
She was so positive and lighthearted and understood the gift of life more than anyone I know. I remember her getting so mad at me for caring about the little things that didn't matter. She would always tell me she wouldn't know what to do without me, and now I have to live this life without her.
And she taught me a lot of stuff. She taught me how to be a dad. And I didn't know that until she was gone, you know?
Xana, you will not be forgotten. You have impacted so many lives and have given people so much love. I hope I can make you proud and try to leave an impact on this world and on people like you did.
He had such an infectious smile and a charismatic personality. And if you knew anything about Xana as well, they were very similar in how they acted together.
They were always so happy, and the way she would talk and smile about him was something I've never seen her do before. She truly loved him so much, and I know he had so much love for her.
We are eternally grateful that we spent so much time with him. And I want to remind you that that's the most important message that we have for you and your families, is to make sure that you spend as much time as possible with those people, because time is precious.